Already we've got about 40 pages of emails or text messages, whatever you want to call them, communications electronically via the jail where Stephan Stearns is currently residing. We have about 40 pages, 1 month's worth of emails between him and his parents. Oh boy, it's a trip. Thanks to the docket over on YouTube for sending these to me. At this point, I don't even know what else we have coming. There's so much going on behind the scenes. Let's get into these crazy emails. All right, previously you might remember we went over messages previously between Stephan Stearns and his parents from March 1st, 2024 through July 2nd, 2024. They talked a lot about food, a lot of things. They were on him. They were like, whoa, Jen is guilty. You need to roll on her, turn her in. There's going to be a little bit more of that coming up. But these, in this latest newly released Notice of Supplemental Discovery, we got a bunch of stuff. I'm going to upload the documents. I'm going to upload these documents over on Patreon. Now, these are not the documents I uploaded earlier today. I uploaded about 39 documents. Those were, free on the court's website. I just put them on Patreon over there for my members, for people who didn't feel like going to the court website and downloading them on their own. These are different. These new 8 PDFs, these new 8 or 9 PDFs technically, because they sent me a 9th one. Basically, the most interesting part I found were these text messages between Stephan Stearns and his mom and dad. It's always fascinating. Oh my goodness, they have so much they're talking about. It's going to be from July 2nd, 2024 through August 2nd, 2024. And I'm just kind of like recording my screen down here. I'll probably put it on top of me so you can see here what I'm going through. Check the link below. I'll put the PDFs up for everyone who likes to download them. After going through hundreds of pages in a different document, a lot of them redacted, in the other document, stuff about, of course, Maddie's autopsy or things you don't want to see anyway, redacted. I tried to look for any new information we might not have, but in this one they talk about, again, finding that yellow piece of paper in the Osceola County Jail cell of Stearns and finding the For Maddie poem and all that stuff. But the most interesting, of course, we're going to scroll past all these books he's requesting from his parents again. This Michael Crichton Congo, oh, this guy, and this expensive food he's going to request from his parents, and he's like tone deaf. They're going to purchase it. You'll see. They'll complain about how expensive this food is, these special fresh meals. And Stearns is so tone deaf. Like previously, you'll see somewhere in here, his mom is talking about like taking a loan or something. And he's just kind of like, I think he blows right past that. And it's like, anyway, I'd really love these other meals I saw the inmates getting, it's very manipulative. So right now I'm scrolling down. Oh, this is interesting too. There's a lot coming in through these documents. And so we were like, wait, what's new? We started reading through them and we're like, oh yeah, this stuff is new. Some stuff, of course, and some of them we've seen before, but other stuff, it's like, whoa. They're going to, for the first time, talk about Stephan Stearns' brother, this mysterious brother he has. And Stearns is going to talk a bit about his childhood and his parents' failures, basically, and the stuff he did wrong. Oh boy, he's talking about his weight loss. Losing like 51 pounds in a matter of months. I don't know. We'll see. Is he really down to 169 pounds at this point? At this point last year. Now remember, this is new to us. This is the first time anyone has gotten these documents. Even though it's stuff that was talked about last year, it wasn't released until now. And as an update, like I updated my Patreon members, I asked for an update on the jail calls. Remember, I paid for 2 different groups or sets of them. There was confusion about whether I was paying for double calls or whatever. I guess I'm not. But basically I got the reply, I think today, or was it yesterday, when they told me from Florida, oh, they didn't say it like this, you'll get them when you get them. But in essence, I hadn't been bugging them in a couple of months or something, but it's like you just have to wait. You can see it's almost July 2025, and we are just now getting July 2024 emails. So it takes time. Stuff takes time. We could pay for it months and months and months ago, and then one day it appears. So they'll talk about Stephan Stearns' brother, his childhood. Someone's going off about JENN again. And, at this point, Stephan Stearns' parents still believed JENN was the culprit. JENN was somehow responsible. It wasn't their baby Stephan that did everything. But as we read through these, you'll see a light does kind of come on, or it's starting to come on, where they're talking about his mom, I believe, even confronts him like, Stephan, I know, the stuff you did is horrible. She doesn't completely let him off the hook, but she's got stuff to say to confront him. Oh, she's got a lot of ire and ick for us ticks, she calls us YouTubers, and that part gets kind of crazy. And of course, they talk about puppies, so much stuff. They talk about a lot. But this letter Stearns got on June 20th, 2024, it's from the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, Ron DeSantis, governor, or Ron DeSadass, as Stephan quirkily calls him. Anyway, it's just saying, look, a complaint has been filed against you and an investigation has been initiated regarding these allegations in the attached complaint. So in essence, he's losing his real estate license, in essence, and they're going to talk about this. So he got this snail mail. So his real estate or broker sales license, it's like, we don't want you being a realtor anymore with these charges. So they kind of go through the charges, but I just want to get to the point where he starts emailing his parents, because we have a lot of emails to go through. And they kind of just go through his court record, the stuff they've sent him, the docket. So they send Stephan, paper, snail mail of his docket entries when he's expected to appear in court and all that. But here it is, July 2nd, 2024 through August 2nd, 2024. So fascinating. And Stephan's going to talk about this mystery woman. We'll see. I don't think she uses her real name. I might have seen her on Facebook. It might have been the woman I did a previous video about, just kind of mentioning her. That Stephan did accept her friend request, but you'll see why he turns her down eventually. So let's start off here. From Stephan to Chris Stearns, it's July 3rd, 2024. Hey, I just got the tablet, and I will have it until 4:45 p.m. I received some books today, The Lost World, Ready Player One, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the origami book. So he was able to get his origami book. Thank you very much for sending those, and please include Jurassic Park among the next batch you send, since it comes before The Lost World, and I would like to have to read them in order. He wants to read these books in order. I received my commissary order yesterday. I had edited it to reduce the amount of coffees and get a bag of root beer barrels with it. There's that root beer candy, ever present. I saw that you hadn't been able to add any more funds, so I kept it small. He's always hinting, no matter how difficult of a time his parents might be having or not, he's always hinting towards, give me more money. The account is likely around -$3 today. I'm currently rereading The Hobbit for a proper lead up to The Lord of the Rings and can't wait to get to the Silmarillion. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it as well. It takes place before The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. How are things at the Poodle Palace? How are the puppies? And how are you and Mom doing? Anything new or exciting? Things are basically the same here. 4 walls and a metal rack. I've been busy making different origami patterns from the easy book, and I look forward to breaking into this new book, which has some very interesting designs. So it still has the books delivered as the subject. So Chris Stearns writes back on the same day, July 3rd, recipient read, and you'll find interesting when they flag something like a word that might have something to do with something, they'll put it highlighted in yellow. Well, crap. His dad feels bad. Sorry about adding funds. Added $50. Also, I was out on appointments, so I guess I missed your window. Puppies are fine. They're sort of walking, noisier, and eyes are beginning to open. It won't be too long where they will assemble a choir and the singing begins. Joy! I've been busy acclimating to the new company. So Stephan Stearns' dad obviously went through some sort of career change, and they talk about that a lot at first here. So it says everything remains the same except displaying a different banner. The CRM is the same, but back-end systems are totally different. There are no brick and mortar buildings. It's all virtual, which is cool. Mom helped me design my avatar. The virtual world is deep in resources, expert care, and everything in between. They also use Workplace, which is Facebook for businesses. A lot of groups with tons of camaraderie among the ranks. Everyone is so helpful. While things are slow, I'm using the time to immerse myself in the CRM platform since it is where 100% of the marketing is initiated, managed, and maintained. Everything is handled through the system, most of it automated. You live in the system throughout the day, beginning first thing in the AM and before you go to bed. I have several marketing campaigns scheduled to start next week, and I want to be prepared to manage leads effectively. I'll be using ISAs, Inside Sales Associates, to manage inbound leads. They call the lead, then transfer the warm, qualified lead off to me live. With the volume of leads that are projected and me out in the field, I won't have time to manage inbound leads that require immediate phone contact within minutes when received. This will be a first for me to turn this part of the process over. I have to trust the process. I informed Mom about Jurassic Park. Mark sent me a photo of his son who was in the hospital recovering from surgery due to a work accident. Now, I'm not sure who they're speaking of here. He works construction, carpentry, trim work, and was on a scaffold that collapsed. Wow, that collapsed, falling 18 feet. Oh my goodness, landing on his feet and crushing both ankles. You can tell I didn't read all of this. I tried to go through all of them. Oh my goodness. He will be laid up for about 12 weeks, then therapy afterward. Needless to say, he's in a lot of pain. Love and hugs. Catch up soon. Okay, so Stephan wrote back 5 days later, July 8th, 2024, and it was flagged, found the word die in message, but he's talking about the tablet losing its power. So Stephan wrote, hey, just got the tablet back. It's only at half battery, so it will die sooner, I'm sure. I received the Howling Trilogy book today. That will be interesting, and I'm near the end of the first book of The Lord of the Rings. Congo is still MIA. Eventually they're going to get Congo, and I like the cover with the ape or his eye or whatever. And I noticed a few days ago a package that was returned to sender because it apparently contains a cell phone holder of some kind. I wonder if Congo might have also been in that package too. I also got notification from the DBPR saying that I'm essentially going to lose my license for dishonest dealing, having to do with the charges against me. I guess they don't care to differentiate between charges and convictions. He's so snarky. He's so snippy and trying to be funny, and there are heinous charges against you, and I get it, you're innocent until proven guilty. But knowing whatever he knows that he did to Maddie, between him, God, and Maddie, everyone who knows what he did, he's sitting up here complaining and whining about losing his license. I guess they don't care to differentiate between charges and convictions. As of now, the license is on involuntary suspension, I think. I don't remember the letter too well. I met with another attorney today. I guess I will be meeting more as the time goes on. But we talked a bit, and I left feeling a bit more hopeful, so that's something. And I can only pray that my hope is well placed. So he says, hang in there for me. We might get through this still. None of the inmates got their commissary deliveries. Oh, this reminds me. Just wait till you hear about the death threats against him in the bullpen and why he started really rejecting all of his, outdoor, what do they call it, recreational time. We'll get there too. None of the inmates got their commissary deliveries this past Friday. I'm not even sure if the orders were charged or not, since I haven't had a chance to check. I ordered a buttload of coffees and a couple packs of root beer candy. That reminds me of his anal kinks when he says stuff like that. I ordered a buttload of coffees. Reminds me of coffee enemas or something. Anyway, and a couple of packs of root beer candy, so I'm hoping it gets delivered tomorrow instead, but we'll see. I may have to make another order if not, so fingers crossed it was only a delay. I was offered rec time today, here it comes, meaning time outside in the yard. But I had been up all night and was too tired to go. Oh no, this isn't the part yet, but we'll get there. So hopefully they ask again soon so I can finally feel the sun and wind on my skin and breathe fresher air for the first time in over 4 months. That's exciting news about your new company. I'm glad to hear things are picking up for you. You must be knee-deep in noisy, happy puppies by now, and I'm wishing I was there. I love you both. Hugs and kisses. Right back soon. He's almost like a kid at summer camp in a way, or just a fake actor, charming and manipulating his parents to get the food. Okay, same day. Chris writes back to Stephan, July 8th. Yo, Stephan, good to hear from you. Why are there such long breaks between hearing from you? Remember, he hadn't heard from him in like 5 days. I'll report to your mom your deliveries and chase down Congo. Do you get mail? How did you learn about DBPR? Have the attorneys given you the POA to sign? You know, they're trying to get that power of attorney signed. Eventually, he's going to get it signed. Puppies are 3 weeks old, up and walking, and have mock battles with lots of grrr. LOL, are you able to have visitors yet? Any news about the trial? The pre-trial meeting is Wednesday. What are you hearing? Love, hugs, and kisses from us both. Same day, July 8th. Stephan writes Chris back. Hey, yes, I can get mail. That's how I learned of DBPR. Pre-trial is still Wednesday, but I won't go to it myself, just my attorneys. Presumably, I can have visitors. I no longer have any restrictions that I'm aware, just on protective custody. I think visits may be done through a video screen, though. I don't know if they do face-to-face, but I can find out. I don't know if they've done any yet. I feel like I've checked on that. I feel like I've asked. I gotta remember. Sorry for the gaps in communication. Basically, I'm at the mercy of the availability of devices and the whims of the guards. Some are more willing to accommodate or do any extra work than others. And it doesn't do well to nag or pester them over it. I wish I could hear the grrrs and little barks. I wish I could hear the grrrs and little barks. That would make my day. How are you and Mom holding up? That's good. At least he asked about their well-being. This is funny. This flagged, if you're reading it here. Chris sends a message back to Stephan. It's the same day, July 8th, 8:31 at night, and it's flagged because they found Dick in message. But it's not what we think. It's just going to be Moby Dick. This says, from Mom. Just missed the last message I sent. So she says, well, that answers the question of where my cell phone stand went, because I didn't get it. Good old Amazon wanting to box stuff together. Well, usually they don't. If you give them this address and then, like, you know, the jail address and the home address, they generally get that right, but whatever. Apparently they didn't get that the address on the holder was different. It said Congo was shipped, so I'm guessing that is what happened. I will resend it. Boy, getting that Congo book was something, wasn't it? I hope this new attorney is a little more willing to listen and help. Maybe they're talking about Alicia. Shout out, Alicia! Anyway, we do stand with you as our son. That won't change regardless. We still haven't heard anything about the POA or anything. They didn't say if they finally got the information from Sarasota Memorial. They're trying to get this info from Stephan or from his, I think this is from his TBI, traumatic brain injury. They're trying to get that info. I know he had a couple of things going on. He's going to talk about his TBI, his brain injury, and how that impacted him growing up and his personality. Stay tuned. We got a lot to read here. Stuff is very one way with them. Stuff is very one way with them. With the lawyers, maybe? If it is for them, it is urgent. If it is something for us, meh. Here it is. Listen, money is tight, but we are muddling through, borrowing where we can until September. Okay, it's like Stephan's going to just blow right past that. His mom tells him, look, money is tight and we have to borrow where we can until, months from now, until September. After this point, he's going to kind of hint for this special expensive $8 a burger food. Just wait. It could cost more. I don't know. Hopefully things will turn the corner by then and the puppies will have been picked up and paid for. So fingers crossed for all good things for us all. Your dad can't seem to stop losing weight. He is smaller than when he was in high school. I have 25 pounds to get to Wonderland. The Wonderland. I know, but don't you love getting back in Wonderland? So Deb is still saying, look, she's around 225. but she's still losing weight, okay? Chris, he's losing a lot of weight. And his mom, Stephan's mom, is showing concern as for her husband because Chris is losing weight. Now, maybe Stephan takes this inside and uses it to either lie to his mom or compete with his dad. Because later he's going to say, whoa, saw the doc, I'm down to 169. Now, we're going to see Stephan went in March 1st. It says he was 220 pounds at 6 feet 2 inches, relatively. It depends on what you're made up of, weight is relative, muscle or fat or whatever. Anyway, she's talking about how much weight Chris is losing even past the point of his goal weight. And then later it's like Stephan's going to be like, oh, me too. I've lost so much too. I don't know. You'll see. So your dad can't seem to stop losing weight. He is smaller than when he was in high school. So she's saying, I have 25 pounds till I get to Wonderland. I've lost 55 pounds and all numbers health-wise are fabulous. I'm cutting back on insulin. I look forward to the day I don't need it anymore. Ask the people who know, because I don't know if they let us send pictures of the puppies. She has to qualify. Of the puppies. Ask and see. They are adorable. Mock fighting today and walking like drunk sailors, but by next week they will be running and eating something other than mama's milk. Then, the next week, the big reveal. The first bath and shave. It always feels like Christmas, and I'm unwrapping gorgeous packages. Not like it is porn or anything, just puppies. Wasn't that weird to write? First of all, I didn't know you shaved puppies. That's how much I don't know about getting puppies that young. When I get them, they're already coming from the breeder or from wherever, from the rescue place. We have a great rescue place, one-of-a-kind rescue pets. One-of-a-kind rescue where we got our dogs, but I didn't know they need to be shaved. But why is she saying, not like it's, the P word or anything? It's like, I get it. She has to qualify what she's talking about because she knows who she's talking to. So she's like, we want to send you pictures of the puppies. I'm unwrapping gifts, not like it's anything dirty, just puppies. We'll be starting the puppy culture startle reflex training with them tomorrow. All the good stuff. LOL, big hug and kiss. Be strong. Don't worry about DBPR. You never wanted to be with them anyway, so no big deal. So Stephan never really wanted his realtor's license? Is that what she's saying? Can you swap books with the other inmates temporarily to get some diversity in reading? Probably not. I don't think they like you guys fraternizing much. Exercise, use deep breathing techniques, center yourself. Center yourself. This is a longer road than we thought it would be. No, I pray for you every night and think of you every day, several times. It's so surreal that you are not here. You have mail forwarded to you at jail? Why not send it to the house? So she's like, why are they sending that to you there? But an inmate has to know what's going on. They send stuff to inmates like when, especially they first go in, it's like, look, you're usually losing your job, you're fired, losing your realtor license apparently. Deborah gives him several clues or out and out hints like, look, money's tight. We're having to borrow until a few more months. Maybe when we can sell these puppies, we'll have more money. She even is like, can you, swap books with the other inmates? Like, something you can read that's different than all this stuff, you're reading. Later, they're going to say, can you read something maybe to teach yourself a new skill or whatever? And obviously, they're trying to save money. Amazon gets expensive. And is he going to pick up on these hints and cut back on asking for commissary money? Because I pulled up the commissary right next to this because I don't even know if I posted this anywhere yet. I'll post it somewhere. Around the same time, you'll see July, the whole month. He's getting a lot of commissary. Funds available, nearly $100. So not only are they sending commissary money, you'll see they'll start ordering him these special fresh meals he saw the other inmates had. And oh my goodness, the pressure and the guilt tripping. Just watch, it's coming up. Any indication of the trial being pushed off? Is it being pushed off? How's your commissary balance? So they're asking, of course, still. They want to take care of him, but this couple is obviously, kind of, I won't say struggling like, oh, they're about to lose their home and they can't eat, but I'm saying they're watching. They're counting their pennies, and Stephan is still sucking them dry. And he's going to be kind of conscious of why. He's going to talk about why he never felt at home in Florida, them moving all the time, always being the new person, not latching on to anyone, all this stuff. But, I know in some jails, they used to have like a book tray or whatever people could get, just like the library. They would get books from there, so they wouldn't have to keep, relying on someone's parents to send all these books. But they're asking, how's your commissary balance? My point is, Deb is trying to save money. I don't blame her. Let me know about visitations, physical visitations. I may try to pop over. Okay, so that part was Chris. That makes more sense. Sometimes it's hard to delineate when Dad is talking, when Mom is talking, because they're all sending it from Chris Stearns' account. Now, from Mom again. How did DBPR know where you are? Wow, they make the CIA and FBI look weak. LOL, I have a great video of them mock fighting. Took it this morning. I don't know what she's talking about. I think there is a fee for a video or maybe even pictures. Check for us. If it is allowed, we will send it right away. I got Congo sent out, and I think Moby Dick. Could be Jaws in any case. Congo is on its third try to get to you. Maybe it will be the charm. Lynn, John, Kazzy are coming to visit soon for a long weekend and see the pups. Then Gina and her hubby to-be will come and visit their pup, Bo, the only white boy. I was like, side-eye. I just got my notary again because they have asked me to marry them. Only my second wedding. Getting this back to you now. Love you. So this couple was asking Deb, I guess, to act as a minister or whatever, justice of the peace, whoever marries people. Now, from Stephan to Stearns, same day, same night, July 8th. Hey, I can receive photos as long as they are no larger than 4 inches by 6 inches. I will try to find out more about how visits work. If my last order from commissary was charged, aside from not being delivered, then I should be quite low in balance now. So add whatever you can, and I will see tomorrow if my missing order will be delivered. Look at this, the very next email. She's like, Stephan, money's tight, even though she did ask about his commissary balance. She's like, Stephan, money's tight. We're having to borrow. We hope when the puppies, are able to be sold, we'll have more. Can you borrow books from anyone? And he comes back with, yeah, my commissary was pretty low. My balance is low. Anyway, add whatever you can, Mom. Go out there, Deborah. Get to work, sell some feet pics. No, I'm kidding. But he's like, just whatever. Mom, I need my candy. You'll see, this special food. So add whatever you can, and I will see tomorrow if my missing order will be delivered. I went heavy on the coffee because I was tired of running out so quickly. Only ordered 2 packs of root beer candy and sunk the rest into 40 plus coffees. But I still need some saltines and whatnot for those times when my stomach growls at night, which is every night. He's like, so, I'm sorry, I'm just in a mood, this guy. I hope my last order went through, but if not, then I will take whatever money is left. Oh my goodness. And whatever you add to it, and try to spread it around as evenly as I can to meet my needs. That's what it's about, isn't it, Stephan? To meet his own needs, to meet my needs, and still go as heavy as I can on the coffee. I get it. I love caffeine too in the morning. The coffee keeps me happiest and is comforting in a way, so I like to get large supplies of it when I can and try to limit myself to 2 per day, though some days I indulge a bit more, especially when I feel particularly low in spirit. But I still need things to munch on between meals too, so it's always a balancing act. The coffees are 85 cents each, and I try to get them in multiples of 5 and 10 when possible. This last order that went undelivered should have contained 48 coffees. Because I got the 2 candies and then put the coffee quantity to the maximum that budget would allow. I really hope it shows up tomorrow, or I will have to make a new order and the daily fee will have chipped away at the balance quite a bit. So please do add more if possible. Yeah, the DBPR is a state agency, so I guess they have the inside scoop on this stuff. No word on the POA. But you are correct in your assessment that anything for my attorneys is quite urgent. You have to remember that these are the people tasked. Here he goes schooling his mom. You have to remember that these are the people tasked with keeping me alive and, if at all possible, restoring my freedom. So it is best to treat something OT with that of sort of importance. There's typos in here. And besides, they are defense attorneys and not civil attorneys, so they don't do anything that falls outside of their scope. And I'm not the only case they have. They deal with a huge caseload and are always busy. I bet they are. They do have my interest in mind, but those duties and interests begin and end inside the courtroom defending me. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So try not to get too put out by it. He's like, Mom, cool your jets, okay? I have a large team working on my case, and they are among the best and fiercest that the public defender's office has to offer. You don't get to that level in the PD unless you're good at what you do, enjoy it, and have vast experience with it, especially with a case this big. They don't just give it to some greenhorn fresh from passing the bar like they would with a smaller case. Keep working with the social workers. They are more or less your go-between or interface with the attorneys. And try to be patient. This is truly a longer road than we imagined. And we may only be coming close to a quarter of the way through it. So hang in there, both of you. If, by the grace of God, I do find my way out of this mess, I want you both in good health so I can see you and sit down to a long overdue family meal together. Tell Dad not to lose too much more weight or he will slip through a crack in the floor and be lost forever. And I want you both around still for some years to come. So do your best. So it always like that, and I don't know what that means, ampersand, and it looks like an LT, and they're always like highlighting that LT. I don't know what he's writing there, or if it was an emoji that got translated. I should see. I look forward to hearing back soon. Hugs and kisses. Love you both. Okay, Stearns is also writing again to his parents again on July 8th. Oh, and to answer the trial question, yes, it is being pushed off as much as can be. They're trying to decide which one should go first. There was a tentative estimate of 2026 for whichever went second, if I recall. Hang in there for me, please. We will figure this out as we go along further. I love you both. So yeah, imagine, remember his attorney was talking about 2027, and the judge is kind of like, whoa, like that's not gonna fly. So now still we're on the 8th, Chris to Stephan Stearns. Well, it's from Mom. Are we talking regular mail picture or on the tablet? We will try our best to be here for you as long as God allows. Sent $50. 2026? Okay, I'm trying not to lose any more weight. Last weigh-in was 167. Okay, so this is from Mom. She was trying to get to Wonderland. Maybe that was from Chris, who was trying to get to Wonderland, who used to be 225. Maybe I was flipping them. So Mom is well into Wonderland. She's 167. I might have had them flipped. 2 pounds from losing 70 pounds. I wanted 175. I keep trying to put a couple of pounds back on, but I don't have much of an appetite. It's an interesting battle. Let me know about the visits. I'll try to get in to see you. Okay, now a few days go by, 4 days go by. It's now July 12th, 2024. Stephan is writing to his parents, hey, Congo arrived. Jurassic Park arrived. Also, do either of you know Elisa Houston from Lark Hall, OT? And I looked up that OT, his parents are like, was that Ontario? What? No, that's not Ontario's, code. They're ON. There is no OT. So I think this woman is just making up a name. Anyway, Stephan says, I received a contact connection request from this person and wanted to see if it's anyone we know. I don't think I know them, and I'm going to ignore it if you don't know them either. So Chris writes back that day, or it could be his mom. They're going off about JENN, and they found kill in message, so it's flagged. So this is July 12th, 8:47 p.m. Hey, Stephan, good to hear the books arrived. No, we don't know her. Ignore the request. By the way, we heard on the local news your trial has been pushed off to October. The report went on to say that the state attorney's office released all our email communications with redactions, probably blank and blank. So it's redacted. I don't know what they're talking about. The interesting report was the comment about a second vehicle visiting the site in St. Cloud, taking the same route as the Lincoln, a white Nissan. I assume this was Jenn's car, the same car parked at the hotel where I left you at 2:20 a.m. I thought. So this is obviously Chris. That means the car left shortly after the check-in. The car left Kissimmee at 3:18 a.m. Wednesday morning, stayed in the St. Cloud area 30 minutes, then returned to Kissimmee at 3:48 a.m. Care to comment? His dad is funny. What I don't understand is how JENN is avoiding all of this. Blank is clearly involved. Why are the police not pursuing this? A blind person can see it. There will be a lot of people trying to get you to accept them on the text app. All they want is to try and get into your head and get you to give them an exclusive tidbit that they can profit by on YouTube or whatever these pathetic wannabe investigators are using for their platforms. The state just encourages them by giving them access to the tablet conversations and phone calls. Nothing is private, and they're all idiots who think they are the best at getting at people. What I do know is that blank and the rest of the crew are also into this up to their hairlines. He must be talking about Jenn and her mom. Maybe he's saying Jenn and Yolanda or Stephanie. I don't know who he's talking about. The whole cackling crowd of them. They are willing to throw you to the wolves to keep their reputations intact. Jenn sits in the psych ward of some hospital pretending to be nuts while she has clean sheets, a private bathroom, TV, visitors, decent food, and where are you? You did not kill Maddie. All caps, all caps. I think it was an accident, but Jenn did. You found her body and you were coerced into moving it. This really sounds like Deb in a way. I don't know. Then the whole charade about the abduction. I know Jenn wearing Maddie's clothes was the one in the church picture. This definitely sounds like Deb because I think she said this on Hidden True Crime. She said it. I know them both too well not to recognize the differences. We never saw the church picture. I'm sorry. They redacted all that. And it was too far away, they said anyway, and it was all redacted in the body cam video. I don't ever remember seeing that church figure person, if memory is correct. Anyway, she's saying, I know them both too well not to recognize the differences. So maybe Deb saw some church picture, just like Chris thought Jenn showed him some picture on her phone. That never happened. Whatever. Start taking positive steps to help yourself. You don't owe them your life, Stephan. They don't deserve that kind of blind loyalty. Love, understanding, prayers, a calm place in the storm? ? Okay, Stephan writes back to the account, July 12th. Hey, I can't comment on any specific details regarding the case, of course, so I have to remain somewhat tight-lipped in that regard. I know you have questions, and I do want to answer them. I feel you deserve the answers, but it's just not a good idea until the trial process is further along, and my lawyers would be upset with me because those statements would be admissible and could be potentially spun in a way that hurts me. And I know you don't want that any more than I do. Do you mean the state attorney is releasing these text messages from this app? How are things at home right now? How is work? How are the puppies? So he's pretending, yeah, I'm not going to say anything because it might hurt my case. He's not saying stuff because he's leading his parents down the primrose path. He's trying to make it seem like, oh, I found Maddie, she was already gone, hinting that Jennifer had something maybe to do with it, but he's lying to them, you know, obviously. Okay, so his parents write back. It must be his mom writing back. Yes, the state attorney's office released them. I know you cannot comment. The point is, Jenn's the person who is responsible for Maddie's death. She was certainly present when the body was removed. She was the person who dressed like Maddie at the church. How can she be allowed to remain free? Why hasn't Jenn been arrested, Mr. State Attorney? Why aren't you pursuing something. Jennifer? Here's the thing, Stephan. So Deb just starts to talk to the state attorney, like in these messages, because she knows they'll be released. They're reading them. Here's the thing, Stephan. Your mother and I, oh no, this really is Chris. I thought this was really Deb. Your mother and I were blindsided by all of this. You went to Kissimmee for a birthday. I wish I was aware of the TV interview. His dad's gonna say, look, you look like a fool. Everyone saw through Jen, including me, after seeing it days later after your arrest. If I saw that interview, I would have called you immediately seeking the truth, not the BS you idiots conjured up. I say idiots because Jen and whoever was a part of the conspiracy formed to hide Maddie's death were stupid. Maybe it's just your son. I don't know. You and certainly Jen fooled no one. Jen is part of this, and we believe the person responsible for Maddie's death. Why does she remain free? Things remain status quo at home. Work is getting busier, lots going on, and the puppies are fat. They're 3 weeks old. How's the balance? So it's like all over. It's like, Jen's responsible for Maddie's death. Okay, how's the balance? It's like, wow. Stephan writes back to Chris, same day, July 12th. July 12th. Hey, glad to hear the puppies are well and you're staying busy. The balance could use some topping up as well, please. Always like money, money, money. What's this about a church picture and abduction? Is there new information being released? He's playing dumb. I haven't heard about this. Also, the tablet system turns off at 10 p.m. So that's my cutoff here. So it's 9:42 p.m. He's playing it close. So right at 9:45 p.m., Chris writes back. A video of someone appearing to be Maddie the day she was dropped off. Abduction, that's what you thought happened to her. Okay, I'll add funds. All right, it's still late. Stephan writes back to Chris, 9:51 p.m., and they found the word cut in the message. Ah, I see, okay. I never saw the church picture. I don't think anyone has, technically. I think the system will cut off soon, so this may be the last I send tonight. I love you both very much. Be patient, stay sane, and keep praying that we can all get through this. I will hold on to hope that I will see you both again, and that is the goal. Hugs and kisses to you both. XOXOXO. 9:52 p.m. that same night. Okay, love you too. You're in our prayers and thoughts. I added funds. So he got what he needed, so he doesn't talk again until 8 days later, July 20th. Stephan talks to Chris. Hey, just got the tablet. Sometimes I wonder, maybe he could have gotten the tablet within these 8 days and he just knows, okay, I got my $50 or $100 or whatever Dad just put in my commissary account. I don't need to email them for another week or so. But he says, hey, just got the tablet. Wanted to check in and see how you are both doing. How are the puppies? Any other new updates? He says, I got the POA and signed it. Also, I think Mom mentioned she had sent more books last time we chatted, but nothing has arrived, FYI. I also wanted to add a title to the list. Ready Player 2, the sequel to Ready Player 1. I mean, it's just like more. Give me more books, more food. I was able to order a good amount of coffee on commissary, and they even had the butterscotch candies in stock, so I got a bunch of those and some more root beer candies. The butterscotch is very good and a nice change. I've been feeling anxious lately, and every once in a while I will wake up from sleep and feel a sudden panic when I realize I'm still here in this place. I'm trying to be patient. October is still a ways off, and then the real action starts, and things will begin to pick up a little more speed, and we will see how the situation develops. You have a birthday coming up soon. What age will you be after this one? And for the matter, what age is Mom now? I can't believe I've managed to lose track of this stuff over the last few years. But I have. Right back as soon as you're able. Talk to you later. I thought that was selfish of Stephan to not immediately know, like, his parents' birth dates. Like, mine are always ingrained in my head. I mean, a year or two, but I always knew hers is July 5th. My dad's was February 20th. Like, that stuff just didn't leave my head. And he's just like, kind of like, okay, yeah, what age are you going to be again? I don't know, to me it's just another example of his self-centeredness. Okay, now July 20th, Chris writes back. Maybe it's Chris. I like to look at the bottom. Yeah, it says, love, Dad. Hey, Stephan, good to hear from you. I think it's been more than a week since we last communicated, since we last wrote. The state attorney's office released investigative reports to the media along with all our communications from the beginning until early July. The news channels published their own stories regarding the release of the documents and commentary as well. One of the investigators reports comment about a second vehicle, he keeps bringing this up, a white Nissan visiting the site where Maddie's body was discovered early Wednesday morning. They show the time not long after I said goodnight to you, earlier around 3:30ish. Interesting? It's like Chris wants him to say, like, see, they didn't know who was driving that white Nissan. The cops didn't. So the Lincoln, Stearns drove the Lincoln out there, we know that Monday or whatever. And then early Wednesday morning, I thought it was Tuesday. Did he go out there twice? But anyway, someone was driving the white Nissan. I was thinking it was Tuesday. He's saying it was early Wednesday morning after they got the hotel room. So yeah, it was like late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. I guess he's saying, you know, they drove that same path that the Lincoln drove out to Maddie's remains. It's almost like Chris is wanting to say, this is right after I said goodbye to you. You know, did Jen sneak out with her white Nissan and go out to the site? Like, Chris just is praying that Jen is implicated when we know it was probably Stephan driving back out to Maddie's body to do God knows what. Interesting. The puppies are doing well. They're just hitting a month old. They're very social, very affectionate, and I love all the attention. I think they're just about 3 pounds now. The old man is hitting 73. Your mother is 72. Ugh, 72. Imagine in your 70s dealing with a son like this. Nothing special planned for my birthday. I'll actually be away for most of the day, but back in the evening if there's any events, which I don't think there will be. Thanks for the update on the books. We'll put the order in, you know, asking for more books. I will check with your mom if there's anything ordered and in transit. Yes, I was aware you had signed a POA as I was in the lobby waiting for the documents to be returned. Too bad we weren't able to visit while I was there. So he was just right there. He was right there in the jail, I guess. But I did get a sense of what things were like, even from the lobby perspective. October is not that far off. We're anxious for more information. I'll add funds to the commissary account for you. Ta-ta for now. Love, Dad. All right, now we are in again, July 20th. Stephan to his dad. Hey, well, I'll try to send wishes on the day, but in case I can't, happy birthday. I wish you many more. Glad to hear the puppies are doing well. I found out more about the visits. There are absolutely no in-person visits. I confirmed that it's all handled through video on the same rolling kiosk I used to order commissary. So while Chris was there, I wonder if he could have done a, video visit, but he didn't. That Lisa Houston from Lark Hall OT tried to connect again. The day after, I declined her. Where is Lark Hall OT anyway? I declined again, but the persistence is somewhat perplexing. I'm curious what the gist of the news commentary was. Write back soon and give my love to Mom. All right, we're the same day, Chris to Stephan, July 20th. I believe it's Ontario. Nope. Not Ontario. I would avoid any outside contact as nothing good will come from it. The commentary was the same old, regurgitating the same old information to make a non-newsworthy event newsworthy. The nerve of Chris Stearns right here. So Maddie losing her life and suffering at the hands of this pedo is non-newsworthy. Okay, I'm sorry, I know they're on their son's side and they don't believe the way they did then. I've tried to be so graceful to Chris and Deborah Stearns, but I'm sorry, stuff like this, it's like, don't call Maddie's death non-newsworthy. You can imagine all of them poring over the email back and forth and trying to make something out of nothing. Yep, we found out the same thing, no physical visits. Like, I don't like he's saying, trying to make something out of nothing. Your son, Stephan Stearns, is the reason people are intrigued with every single dot and tittle of this case, because we're looking for Maddie to get her justice, to not be forgotten, not be swept under the rug, not be called this little Hispanic 13-year-old girl, whatever, with Hispanic origins. She's a valuable person. She has a soul. So don't try and spin it like, oh, it wasn't newsworthy, and that might not be, of course, what he means, but he's trying to, I don't know, he's trying to say it's nothing. What are these idiots worried about all your mails for, Stephan? Like, and someone, it's either Deb or Chris, will be like, oh, they must have no lives. They must be so bored. We're not here whistling Dixie. It's not like Stephan is some normal guy just working a job and we're trying to read his emails, without context. This man is accused of doing some horrible, heinous things to a 13-year-old child. That's why people are looking at him. You can imagine all of them poring over the email back and forth and trying to make something out of nothing. Yep, we found out the same thing. No physical visits. It's unfortunate you did not use the short time we had to tell me about the events. So Chris is, of course, thinking back in his mind, Stephan, when I came up there to help you and Jen with that hotel room, it's too bad you didn't tell me the real deal. I'm not sure what I would have made of it now that I know it wasn't about a disappearance, but something worse. And Chris is indemnifying himself too, like, look, clearing himself, I didn't have anything to do with this. I didn't even know. They told me Maddie was missing. That's what I was under the guise of. Being left in the dark may have been the best. I would rather not have known what we later learned after your arrest. Snap, snap. None of it was pleasing and all very disturbing. As you can imagine, we have lots of questions and realize we may never have the answers. That's what's most frustrating for us. Jen remains free, although I have been told she is in ongoing communication with the state attorney's office. This surprises me, as the world knows she gave false statements to the deputies and possibly responsible for more. And Chris just keeps on, he's trying, he's like, whoa, however you fish, I don't really fish. He's trying to reel in, he's not getting much. So Stephan writes back to Chris that same day, July 20th. Well, I'm sure they are talking to her in order to get as much information about me as they can. Anything and everything that they can use or twist around to paint me in an unsavory way. Yeah, that's already happened when they found all the crap on your phone, Stephan, and in your Google account. In the same way the news tries to make something of nothing, the prosecutors will take any little thing and try and use it against you. So they're likely trying to get my whole history from her, any argument we've ever had, things like that. And who knows what else. You will likely have more answers when this process is further along, but for now, yes, it's better to leave many of them unanswered, as even giving you answers or details can and will be used against me in any way possible. This always gets me when inmates, they're talking to their whomever on the phone or through these messages, and they're always like, I can't talk about my case, I can't talk about my case. Like, a truly innocent person might not say the same thing. A truly innocent person would be like, I did not kill that girl, I am innocent. They wouldn't necessarily be so worried about, I can't talk about my case. Because if they're like adamant, look, I didn't do that, my DNA won't be here, or whatever they're saying, and my alibi is this, it's true. Like, they wouldn't care if that stuff was out here on the phone or in emails. So they are likely trying to get my whole history from her, any argument we've ever had, things like that, and who knows what else. You will likely have more answers when this process is further along, but for now, yes, it's better to leave many of them unanswered, as even giving you answers or details can and will be used against me in any way possible. And my attorneys have reminded me to shut up and be mindful of what we talk about, which means you guys also should not put forward your opinions or theories or ask too many specific questions, as you may inadvertently say or ask something that could be problematic. Keep it general, no details. You know the drill. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it has to be for now. I don't like it any more than you guys do, but it is what it is. This is the process. Everything we say will be scrutinized. It's best to remember that. I will continue to ask for news updates and whatnot, and that's fine because it's already public information. But otherwise, we got to keep it fairly light and general. How are things around the house? Now, here comes that stupid mouse droid again. Did you ever look inside the mouse droid and find my watch? I'm certain it must be in there. If you haven't looked inside it yet, it would have a brown strap attached to it to hang from your shoulder. And it opens at the top because it's actually a collectible popcorn receptacle. Disney makes all sorts of different collectible popcorn holders that look like all sorts of things. You can look up what a mouse droid looks like and then find it in the boxes that are in my room. Or have you moved those already? Here we go. Chris emails Stephan back. I think this is Chris. Nope, it's Mom. Mom. Same day, July 20th. Hi, Stephan. I read Dad's comments, so I won't repeat stuff, except we had the first stand and snack with the pups, and it was a Kodak moment. They're getting so big and lots of kissy pups. They crave the attention. Absolutely fabulous. I'd love to have the chance to sit at the beach and watch the sun go down with you and Chris. It is always wonderful. To say I miss my son is an understatement. To say that I do not condone anything that occurred is also an understatement. So she's saying, look, I don't condone what went on. I will not ever not love you. And the naysayers and wannabe YouTube investigators can think what they want, and more power to them. This is our life, not theirs. So as they say, them and the horse they rode in on. I guess she's like leaving out a curse word. Screw them and the horse they rode in on. Got the book request from you. The card expired and I forgot to update my account with the new card. So the orders were canceled. So that's what happened to some book request. Or that's what happened either to, I don't think it was a commissary order. I don't know. I'm sorry. Please take a minute to send me a list of what you've gotten so I'll know what to add back into an order. Yeah, book order. I'm glad they got the butterscotch candies. Would be nice if you got a chance at the sour fruit ones, or if they have peppermint or coffee. Even cinnamon would be good. Too bad they don't have coffee flavors, and we aren't allowed to send any, except apparently at Christmas and on your birthday, maybe Easter. But you have the best people there to ask about that. It will come from Amazon or a manufacturer, so please find out. Nothing that would spoil or melt, so chocolate might be out of the question when the time comes. Did you get the origami book, and if so, how are you doing with it? People don't know the person that you are without all the bad stuff. We didn't know that side of you, so it is hard to separate the two people living in your head. I thought that really resonated. That's so interesting. And it made me feel more compassion for Deborah. Like, if you only know one side of your son, she only knew one side of Stephan. She had no idea about the other creepy stuff. So she said, we know a kind, loving, affectionate, personable man who can also be stubborn and willful, but who isn't. Certainly not anyone I know. LOL, Dad is anxious for me to finish this up so he can send it to you and I can get the book titles and go from there to get you stocked up again. Love you, Moms. Stephan writes back to Mom. And they found the word Dad in the message, but it's just Eaters of the Dead book. To Mom, it's good to hear from you. I got the origami book and have been working on it. There's a list of other ones on the flap of it that looks interesting, like dragons and other fantastic creatures in origami by John Montrol, or favorite animals in origami, also by John Montrol. As for a list of books you have already sent me that I have actually received, they are as follows: The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Howling trilogy, Ready Player One, Dragon Teeth, Congo Sphere, Timeline, Eaters of the Dead, Jurassic Park, The Lost World. That's what I have so far, aside from the Sudoku book and the Easy Origami and Complete Book of Origami that you also sent. I messaged Dad earlier about adding Ready Player 2 to my list, since it's the sequel to Ready Player 1. And as far as Michael Crichton books, there are only a few left that I still want, such as The Andromeda Strain, Pirate Latitudes, Micro, Twister, The Great Train Robbery. I think some of those are already on the wish list I sent you, but Pirate Latitudes and Micro seem like they would be especially interesting. Do you still have my wish list of other titles? Some of the COs apparently think I'm a bit mysterious, as I seem to spend all day just reading and keeping to myself, LOL. Okay, so Mom and Dad wrote Stephan back same day, July 20th. Great to hear from you. So, you are being a quiet, mysterious person. Well, not all that strange. Shade. You're like, look, you've been quiet and mysterious. You've always liked to read and create things artistically. Keep your mind sharp and body fit. When you do that, it helps pass the time so you don't dwell 24/7 on life as you know it. I will order a few books in the next few minutes. You have support out here, and we love you, Mom and Dad. All right, same day, 7:20. Chris writes to Stephan, ordered today. We won't tell you what was ordered. We'll keep it a surprise so you have something to look forward to. 5 are supposed to arrive Tuesday. 1 either the 29th or 30th. Another one the 30th or the 2nd, basically by the end of the week. So again, Stephan writes back on July 20th. Thank you. And I love you too, both of you. Like you, I also wish we could watch the sun set at the beach together, and God willing, perhaps we still may have that chance. I continue to hope for that sort of thing and pray for it, and I encourage you both to do the same. Oh boy, I hope that landscaper isn't too loud back there. Try to stay positive. I will continue hoping for a chance to be reunited with my family until such time as it either happens or there's no hope left for it to ever happen. That hope keeps me going for now. I know this process is said to take a while, and I'm not 100% certain on what to expect at the moment. And while I am hopeful, I also understand that I have to temper that hope. It's entirely possible to be convicted of a crime you have not actually committed, or one you have committed, Stephan. It happens to people all the time. No need for you to comment on that point. I'm not referring to anything specifically, just stating a general fact. Yeah, I don't know. I know that unfortunately there probably are people in jail. They've been exonerated through their DNA. Unfortunately, it happens, but I don't know if it happens to people all the time being convicted of crimes they didn't commit. Either way, the odds are not 0% for anything at this point. Time will tell. Yeah. Instead of just saying, I'm innocent, I didn't do it, I did not do this. We will see soon enough what the situation will be. Just stay positive. Give the pups plenty of love for me. And give Kissy plenty of pets and praise and treats for being such a good mama dog. Let me know which books you have just ordered so I know what to look out for. And if you like, I can give you some titles from my remaining wish list to place the highest priority on and choose from for future orders. Hugs and love to you both. Okay, we're still on July 20th. Chris or Deb, they are writing back to Stephan. It is Lacey. I think Stella will be bred to Lucky, Diesel's sire, after finishing health testing and x-rays. She is 2 now. Wish you could get a dose of puppy breath. I will stay hopeful and positive. I hope there will be a time for a visit, even if on video. Hard to think of leaving for 6 to 7 hours, even without puppies. Such is life with animals of any kind, but cats, they are very well built to be self-sufficient for a long day. Stay strong. So yeah, the drive there would be 3 hours for them, I believe, or whatever, and 3 hours back, and the visit, could be short. So maybe it's not worth it, for them to try and go do a video visit with Stephan. And the money, it takes money, it takes gas, it takes time away from work. Okay, Stephan's writing back to his parents on July 20th. Oh, I see. Well, keep your secrets then if you want to be mysterious. LOL. I could just hear him saying that in his voice. Okay, I see. Well, keep your secrets then if you want to be mysterious. LOL. I look forward to the surprises and appreciate all that you do. At least he's thanking them. Lacey, of course. I don't know why I had a sudden brain fart. It must have been because you had mentioned Kissy. It looks like it's about time for another haircut and beard trim for me. Past time, actually. My beard looks like one of those old woolly, wily toys where you use the magnetic pen to pull iron dust around and make hair and beard on the guy's face. But put it all on his face. Well, the tablet system shuts off at 4:30 for shift change, so I will have to sign off for now, but I will try to get the tablet again soon. Much love and hugs to you both. Talk to you later. And again, it's doing those, I don't know why it's highlighting the LTs or what it's really meant to say. Stephan writes back again the same day. P.S. This Lisa Houston has just sent me another connection request. They must be really desperate for a pen pal. Talk about persistence. Anyway, Ta-ta for now. And Chris writes back, ta-ta for now. Okay, now we're moving on. Stephan is writing to his parents on the 23rd of July. Found die in message. Hey, happy birthday. The tablet is going to die soon, but I wanted to message you and send my wishes. So he's telling his dad, I guess, happy birthday. Now, in a second, we get to read Lisa's message to him. But here's on the 23rd, his dad is writing back to Stephan. They found the word crazy in this message. Hey, sorry, I just picked up this message. I've been in meetings all afternoon. Thank you for the birthday wish. Hey, your mom and I were talking the other day about our growing up as teenagers with our respective parents and how wacky it was for your mother growing up. My parents were divorced, so I didn't have the same issues. As you know, I played sports, work, kind of raised myself. I'm curious, what were your impressions growing up as a teenager with us? We hear that some people feel we are cause your crimes. Crazy, huh? What's your take on that? And, I'm glad he asked him that question. I don't feel his parents are responsible for Stephan's crimes. That wasn't my motivation for looking into their past. It's just a curiosity. I hope I don't ever say what created the monster. That doesn't mean I think Chris and Deb created this monster. I just think of what were Stephan's experiences, what happened when he grew up. And this is a good question because he's going to talk about his experience from Stephan's perspective. But first, Lisa. Okay, hi, that's her subject. Recipient deleted. He deleted her. Okay, but Lisa Houston, her public name here is Baby B0109. I don't know who this is. I don't even know if that's her real name. Probably not. On July 24th, 2024, she wrote to Stephan, hi, how are you doing? I hope you don't mind me writing to you. I'm sure you could do with a friend. Seen your pictures online and you look like a very attractive man. I don't know. Who is this? I see you like gaming. Me too. Spelled T-O. I love Pokemon Go. What about GTA? I love that too. Oh my goodness. My son was telling me today about a 4-year-old playing GTA. Oh. Anyway, though mostly drive knocking cops down, trying to get 5 stars than anything else, LOL. I don't play GTA. I'm not a gamer. I don't know, but I hear GTA has some wild stuff in it. Do you play that? I live in the UK. I was in Florida last year for the first time. Loved it. Would like to go again next year. Just need to start saving. It's so expensive to go from here. We'll write more next time if you're interested in keeping in touch. Take care, Lisa XX. This might be the same woman who had posted on Facebook, and I think something said she was from the UK about him accepting her request. Okay, now back to Stephan's emails with his parents. This is very thought-provoking, interesting. Stephan wrote to his parents on July 24th, 2024. Hey, just got the tablet. Hope you had a peaceful and enjoyable birthday. In answer to your question, well, it's an interesting question and obviously a complex thing. Growing up with you both was a mixture of things. It wasn't always sunshine and rainbows, of course, but it wasn't always rain clouds either. There were plenty of good times and good things, or at least I have some good memories. But if you're asking for anything that was not a happy memory, I can give a general rundown of that, at least from my perspective, without getting too far into any great detail. My brother left pretty early for the reasons we already know, and I remember what life was like before he left in my early years, the times he would run away, etc. The fights between you and Mom, too. Ooh, that's what we hear about his brother. I think his name is Rick. I could be wrong. I feel like Rick has distanced himself, whatever his name is, from this family. I don't know his last name. I don't even know if that's his real name. Obviously, something went on here. Something was bad, and he was running away. Maybe he dodged a bullet. He got out of Dodge before he ended up like Stephan. As I understand it, he's a great military man now. I wonder if is he like 50? By now? I'm wondering. I don't know how much older he was than Stephan. It sounds like he was quite a bit older. But he's talking about his mom's heavy-handed discipline. Okay, the heavy-handed discipline from her paired with the verbal and emotional aspects as well, while on the flip side, you seem to have a somewhat more cool and perhaps even detached demeanor. You never seemed overly sentimental about anything. Yeah, I could kind of relate to that. I remember writing my own dad about, like, when I was getting married, I was like, Dad, you seemed aloof. He was a great dad. Maybe sometimes men can just seem that way and not really feel that way. But he's saying, the general feeling of instability that was always present, the constant struggle, the constant moving around every couple of years, and never really being able to put roots down anywhere. Never having friends for very long, always having to start over somewhere new, just when I was feeling settled where we were. Ooh. It always felt like I was just passing through wherever I was, and everyone else was just passing through my life. I never had a hometown, and I don't have any best friends from childhood. I've never gone to any class reunions or had any reason to. I never knew anyone or stayed anywhere long enough to bother. There seemed to have been a lot of turmoil and constant upheaval throughout my growing up, which is likely why I have been a loner for most of my life. I never had a chance to settle in and truly establish myself until we finally moved back here when I was 18. So he's saying back to Florida. And I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to leave the West Coast at all. So yeah, he had his girlfriend out in California. He didn't want to be in Florida. Perhaps that has contributed in some way to my being so dependent on you guys for so long, but I don't know. Now, I know some people are like, yeah, sure, whatever, Stephan. Other people have been through worse and they didn't act the way Stephan did. It has to be difficult. I'm sure as parents, we're trying the best we can, or we own up to the times when we fall short. But he is admitting maybe that's why I'm so dependent on my parents. Maybe my mind just refused to commit to settling down in Florida, but I didn't have the means or skills to get out on my own. That's interesting. It sounds like he had a lot of opportunities from his parents, his dad saying, look, go take all these photos of these houses. I'll pay you $50 almost for each or whatever. And his friend was like, yeah, doing it. And Stephan was still laying in bed, When I look back on my life, I do feel a great deal of disappointment and regret. I don't lay all of it on your feet, and I don't fully blame either of you either. Some of it was my own fault as well for not trying harder. At least he admitted to that. Or ever committing to finding my path in life, not taking good advice, and not just striking out on my own. Come what may. I suppose I was afraid of being untethered and on my own and facing the possibility of failure, but that attitude really only guaranteed a more total and complete failure in the long run. Ooh, that's really good. I know it does, that gets me. Like, my parents were go-getters, and just even by leading by example, they taught me a hard work ethic. You work, you get up, you work every day, you work at home, you work, we gotta work. And Stephan just didn't do that. I don't know, it gets me like, I'm afraid to do this, I'll fail. It sounds like he was afraid of failing. And I get it, some people are depressed, they don't want to get out there and try. Sometimes it's very difficult to motivate people who are just, they tell themselves, I can't make it. So many people, I'm like, start a YouTube channel, or try this, try that, make a video. Guys, you can do this, try this. People tell me their struggles, and I know not everyone's gifted to do this. I'm not saying do the exact thing I'm doing, but I'm always like, try this. Yeah, you might fail or you might succeed. Try something different, try something new, as long as you're going for it. Stephan wasn't really going for it. And he's saying his own attitude, not taking his parents' advice, but being afraid of being untethered from them on his own, facing the possibility of failure. That sounds like some vanity too, because his parents had money. He got a bunch of tickets. He was driving a nice car. He crashed it. They lived in pretty places. Yeah, maybe they weren't millionaires, but he had opportunities. But he's saying that attitude, his own attitude, guaranteed a more total and complete failure in the long run. Is he blaming himself, or is he still like, woe is me, I was doomed to destruction, I was doomed to end up here? I'm not sure what kind of effect all these things have on a person growing up, but I imagine there is some kind of effect, whatever it may be. Either way, we all have made some mistakes on our own ends, in our own ways, and of course, who knows what lasting effect was caused by being run over when I was little and suffering that brain trauma. Obviously, there were some behavioral issues that persisted long after that. So he has to weave in that TBI. He's weaving in his defense here. And I'm sure that's another contributing factor to my development as well. I guess there isn't really any one thing to blame. We are all the sum of our experiences. There were many good memories too, and some very good times. It wasn't all rain clouds, as I said, and I always had a roof over my head and food on the table, clothes on my back. You always worked hard and tirelessly to provide for us, and you still do. I love you both very much and have always been strongly attached to my family. I'm proud of you in a lot of ways, and you and Mom did the best you could, the only ways you knew how, just like everyone else in their own respective situations. We're all just trying in our own ways to get through. Obviously, you and Mom had your own share of interesting childhood memories with your own respective parents, and those experiences had their own lasting effects on you both, whether you are aware of them or not. These things all have a trickle-down effect from generation to generation, and things like pain and trauma can also be passed down through the years, and your parents had their own fair share of pain and trauma too. That seems to be the way of life for many people. Some have it worse than others, but as to what effect any of this has in regards to my current situation, I can't really say. I don't know for certain, and I'm not a licensed psychologist, but there's plenty of research and literature on these subjects available to anyone with access to a search engine. And the desire to learn more about it. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for. That was kind of shady to me. Maybe he didn't mean it to sound shady. I feel like Stephan is harboring resentment toward his dad. I really do. Again, without mentioning it all again, but the would-be divorce drama. Chris kind of was off doing his own thing. Deborah was going to divorce him. She talks about it in all the divorce paperwork. I'll link to it below. So for a while, it was just Stephan and his mom, and she was going through her own health struggles, and she was living with her parents, and there's in California, Georgia. I think all of that contributed to the moving around a lot. Chris is going to talk about just career and business contributing to that. Yeah, maybe that was part of it, but I know there was marriage turmoil. I don't think Chris wants to admit to it or any impact it had on Stephan, and maybe that angers Stephan. Not like I'm on Stephan's side. I'm just trying to understand his thought process. But it sounds shady. He's like, I'm no licensed psychologist, but there's plenty of research and literature on these subjects available to anyone with access to a search engine and the desire to learn more about it. Kind of like, Dad, if you want to figure me out and if this had any impact growing up, my childhood on what predicament I'm in now, you got Google. You can figure it out. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, Stephan wrote. Obviously, this is all from my own perspective, point of view, which might be much different from yours or Mom's, of course, yeah, because we look at our parents almost as like these heroes or these gods or whatever growing up, and then when we get to our parents' age, we're like, oh my Lord, I have so much more compassion on my parents. You see, okay, marriage isn't necessarily easy. Maybe they were dealing with loneliness. They were dealing with whatever, temptation, whatever. We're all human, I get it. So you can have more compassion, I think, when you get older. As I said, I don't fully lay the blame on either of you because I made my own share of mistakes and had my own problems, which you both did your best to deal with. And I know I gave you both plenty of grief along the way, too, especially after my auto accident and the brain injury, so he's throwing it all in there. Like, I don't blame you, Mom and Dad. It's like, yeah, but I really do blame you. You had me moving around all the time. Stuff was unstable, and that's no fun way to live. But he's like, look, you put a roof over my head. You worked hard. I'm proud of you, he almost says about his dad. He says it in a way like, I'm almost proud of you, or I'm kind of proud of you. That was kind of weird. Anyway, Stephan also writes to Chris again. Now, I'd like to talk about more pleasant things, if that's okay. I'm already feeling pretty depressed without going over the details of my life. How are the puppies doing and how are things going at work? Any news? Did you have a good birthday or eat anything special for it? Now Chris gets back to Stephan, and this is Chris, I do believe. Here he is. Hey Steph, it's good to hear from you. I'm glad I can snag these messages in the middle of the afternoon. I'm sorry I didn't see your message until late yesterday. I didn't get home until 9 p.m. and I was in Orlando for a meeting. I'm like, wait, it's not when. I was going to say, is that the day whenever I should look up Chris Stern's interview? Remember, he popped into, I think it was July 18th, I could be wrong. He popped into, the police station. He might have been in Orlando for a meeting, but I remember he popped into there and he was asking them all these things. Anyway, mom is taking the bros for shots. The puppies are pretty vocal, either wanting more food or having an insatiable appetite, looking to snack on mom, or wanting attention. They're very loving and good cuddlers. Yesterday, I met a 92-year-old man who was full of stories. One thing that stood out was that he'd been to Area 51, seen things not allowed to talk about. He told me anyway, which I cannot repeat. Flown with Chuck Yeager, and was involved with the Cuban crisis. One comment in response about our numerous moves was due to the economic climate and business turmoil as you were growing up. You were too young to know what was happening. Many mergers and acquisitions during those times resulted in businesses consolidating to pay the debt used to make those acquisitions. When this happened, many jobs and positions were eliminated, all part of doing business. Most companies of those companies and positions no longer exist today. And those remaining people I grew up working with, have all faded to wherever. There is no security whatsoever working in the corporate world. You're better off working for yourself. Today it's worse. For those willing to work, which doesn't seem like a lot, working for a company today means you're really there at the whim of whoever is managing the business. There are no longer 30 or 40-year employees receiving gold watches. You're at best an independent contractor. Employers today churn and burn through employees. I'm sure you experienced some of the corporate world while at Disney. It's just business, and everyone is expendable or collateral damage. Regardless, you do what you must to feed the family and survive. So that was Chris's response. Stephan writes Chris back the same day, this is all very true of the corporate world. I largely blame the decline of our country to corporate entities. It's their attitudes, greeds, manipulation of the political world that have led to this sort of downslide. They've been doing it since the late 50s, and we are experiencing the end effects of it now. From bleeding the economy for all it's worth, and not contributing back to age gaps and the prioritization of maximum profits over long-term stability or survival. They have bled the country, corrupted the political process, and created generations of wage slaves. It's appalling. Capitalism is a good thing, but everything needs to have some moderation. Too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing, as we can now see. Wages needs to increase to meet the cost of living in a realistic way. Sorry if the CEO can't buy their third yacht and a lakeside summer home in Italy, but the reality is that many employees cannot afford to live on the wages they receive. Making profits as fast as possible while slashing costs, reducing product quality, and criminally underpaying employees is not a sustainable business model. That's where we are now. There needs to be some responsibility to your workers too, not just your investors and executives. A rising tide should raise all boats. That was Stephan's take. So Chris writes Stephan back, same day, July 24th. Not all corporations are like what you described, but the ones that are, it's self-evident. On the brighter side, I like to see what is happening in tech. It is changing quickly, and it's fast-paced and becoming increasingly fast. Buckle up. I like the emerging technology, and you know how much I love tech stuff. Anything to improve efficiency. How's the commissary fund? Steph. I'm calling him Steph like he's my son. Oh, heaven forbid. Steph writes Chris back on July 24th. Found a word in the message. Anyway, I just made an order yesterday. Lots of coffee and butterscotch, some saltines, a few bags of chips, some pickles, and a pack of mackerel for protein, along with some spicy peanuts. All in all, about $50 worth of supplies, I think. That should leave about $15 to $20-ish after tomorrow. Yeah, I think I see that order right here, actually. Yeah, because this is the 25th, it says, and I'm reading from the 24th. I want to see if that's what he was. There's the 29th. Yeah, maybe it just went through. Yeah, so that's what he's talking about here. The mackerel, sardine, hot peanuts, chips, coffee. Yep, and that's it right there. Order total, yep, 50-ish. Right now it's saying funds available, $96.79. But here he's saying that should leave about $15 to $20 after tomorrow. So I don't know. I don't know if he's being too honest. Surprise, surprise, I could be reading it wrong. Anyway, that should leave about $15 to $20-ish after tomorrow, but if you think I should reduce the order, I could try today. The tablet will die soon. I want to see what happens with tech and experience it too, but that is an uncertain prospect for me right now. I want to see how VR technologies improve in the coming decades. They are already pretty awesome. Yeah, I bet you want to see how VR, virtual reality technologies improve, Stephan. Knowing his predilections. Anyway, from Chris to Stephan, same day. No, leave the order as it is. Just let me know when it gets too low and I will replenish. Yeah, me too. Although I don't think I'm ready to be transported, not after seeing the movie The Fly. That didn't work out too well. Maybe we should just work on battery life more. LOL, love you. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Okay, we're on to the 25th. Stephan is writing Chris. It's really cool how they're flagged. You know, they kind of highlight the people who have to go over this. We found officer. We found the word fence in this message. Okay, so Stephan is writing to Chris or his mom, whomever. Just got the tablet. Yeah, I agree about battery life. Battery tech is due for some upgrades. Speaking of which, I turned down the brightness on the tablet in an effort to preserve more battery. I just saw the inmates. Here he goes with this special food he wants. I just saw the inmates. First of all, he's like, wait, I'm saving on the battery to try and preserve this tablet. But I just saw the inmates get some special food deliveries today. Things like calzones, buffalo wings, Phillies, burgers, etc. I asked the officer, what were those? And they said, fresh favorites. Ooh, what are those? Which are special meals that your family can order you from the commissary website. I have no idea what's available or even how much they are, even though I assume they are likely not cheap. Yeah, his parents will chime in. They cost some money. But I thought it was interesting anyway and wanted to see if you could research that a bit and figure out the details and tell me what the deal is with that. Since I can't look at them from my end, I doubt they are really worth it, except maybe as an occasional special treat. Hint, hint, mom and dad. But the officer said they are way better than the usual fare you get here. I looked up the fresh favorites. I saw the photos. I was like, oh my goodness, it does look good. They call them restaurant quality meals. So way better than the usual fare you get here, which means they are definitely wouldn't be cheap, but we can still look and find out either way. He's telling his parents, we can still look and find out either way. Like he's like, we can do this. They're already strapped for money. They're already keeping his commissary full. His dad's in his 70s working, coming home after 9 p.m., still in the realty sector, I guess. Not only is he getting, money on the commissary, some people don't even get to buy commissary. He is up here, ooh, I found these fresh favorites the other inmates got, can we look into that? Probably not cheap, but, maybe for a special treat. I'm hoping the books you guys ordered start coming through. It usually seems to take a day or two after delivery to get to me down here, so if any were delivered Tuesday, I would expect to start receiving them today or tomorrow. How's the weather been lately? It's always the same in here. Although I finally got to go outside for some rec time a couple of days ago. Here we go. They put me in the bullpen, which is a small fenced spot that is separate from the rest of the yard. So PC inmates, protective custody inmates, can have rec while other pods are in the main yard. But it went about the way you could expect. The other inmates immediately crowded the fence near me and started asking me about my case, hurling insults and death threats, etc. I ended up going back inside before my allotted time was up. Oh, poor Stephan. So Chris wrote back to Stephan on July 25th. Hey, glad to hear you got some outside time. Sorry the inmates weren't hospitable. I'll research the commissary website and get back to you. I'm not at home right now. It'll be later. I'm actually at the store picking up supplies for Mexican cornbread. He's like throwing that out there at him. The weather's been typical for this time of year. Heavy thunderstorms late in the afternoons. I'll take that over hurricanes any day. Stephan writes back to Chris that same day, July 25th. Oh, just reading the words Mexican cornbread made my mouth water. I miss that. I won't ask for any of those special meals if they're too pricey. He already brought it up. I mean, you know, his parents are going to try and do whatever to get it for him. You guys already do so much by providing commissary and books. My biggest wish for my life has been to get to a point that I was no longer a burden on you both. That you could have the peace of mind knowing you didn't have to worry about my future anymore. I hate that I'm still such a burden. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. You know, people talk a good game, and you talk about, you know, my biggest wish for my life has been to get to a point that I was no longer a burden on you both. That you could have peace of mind knowing you didn't have to worry. His dad was still paying his rent when he was, 38, 37, living with Jen. His dad was still helping him out. Nothing wrong, like, when you need help. I'm not saying that. But, like, when you really want something, you grind, you go for it. When you know, and circumstances, of course, can cause you to not get what you want. But I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, like one old pastor said, you know, some people be like, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight. And I know some people have medical issues, of course. I'm not talking about them. But my pastor said, you know how I know when you're trying to lose weight? When you're really trying? When I see you losing weight. You know, it's like some people just have a list of excuses. Stearns is like, oh, my biggest wish for my life has been to get to a point where I was no longer a burden on you both. Well, were you really wishing that? Because way back when his dad was offering him and his friend money to go grind, go help my real estate business, go take photos of these houses, I'll pay you for it. Was Stephan out there grinding and doing it? You know, like, he can get out there. He could have gotten out there and worked to not be a burden on your parents. Like, my parents helped me a lot, and they taught me just by example. You just work, get out there and work and see what doors God will open. But my dad worked at the main post office in Chicago. Oh, that was his 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. job. And then in his spare time, he was an entrepreneur. He ran his own tax accounting business. I mean, that man worked. My mom, executive secretary, a seamstress, working around the house too. My parents worked. My point is, Stephan, it just seems like words. You know, it seems like he says, I hate that I'm still such a burden. It seems like every time I'm on the verge of getting my ish together, some damn thing always goes wrong. I can't figure it out. And I'm sorry for it. It's like it's happened outside of him in a vacuum. Every time he's on the verge of getting his stuff together, something goes wrong. What went wrong was you're accused of doing horrible things to a 13-year-old. Anyway, he's like, I'm sorry for it, truly. So he's apologizing for that aspect. He's saying all the years and effort you have put into me should have paid off by now, and it is one of my greatest shames to have failed you so many times. I don't know what to do at this point, or if I'll have a chance to get it right. I hope I will, but with my luck, who knows? I mean, Eeyore here, he's just like, ugh. Chris writes Stephan back, July 25th, 2024. I'm sure you're right. It might be a little pricey, but I'll check it out. Things are improving. Your future has always been our greatest concern and frustration. I don't blame them, especially a man like Chris. You can tell he's a businessman. He was an officer for a while, and then he looked at the sales guys in different companies. He decided to switch. Then he moved into the realty sector. You can tell this is a man that works. And Deb had her own entrepreneurial thing, even though through her health challenges, she, raised poodles, sold them, breeder. They sound like hardworking people. Now they're in their 70s, still working, have to support and buy the fresh foods for their nearly 40-year-old son. Your future has always been our greatest concern and frustration. And that's got to be frustrating for parents who are used to kind of standing on their own 2 feet. Of course, getting help maybe from Deb's parents if and when they needed it. I'm not saying everyone's just like, you're always going to bootstrap it. But what I'm saying is you try your best. So much potential, so much opportunity lost. Yeah, Chris ain't saying nothing but a word. He is speaking his truth. As much as I tried racking my brain, I just couldn't come up with the right motivation, incentive, or enough encouragement for you to see what everybody else saw in you. Oh, That's got to be frustrating. Regardless of the outcome, turn the negative into something positive and make something happen. You're too intelligent not to. I think you can make an impact to others. We are at a loss in determining how you arrived at this point in your life. We're anxious to hear. I just left the doctor's office. They're taking me off of one of my medications and reducing my insulin. I'm down nearly 70 pounds since late January. That's obviously making a significant impact on my health. I think I will be off insulin in a very near future. Cool. Yay, and the cardiologist took me off one of my heart meds as well. That was an expensive drug I no longer have to contend with. So thank God. I know, yeah, Chris is like, wherever I can save money, this will be a good thing. But I really feel for him in this point, at a loss in determining how you arrived at this point in your life. Because some people, they don't realize it. They're just like, oh, that kid grew up spoiled. Like, you can raise your children, in similar ways and try and encourage both of them. One of them might, go off, become a doctor, a lawyer, independent. Another one might end up being a techie billionaire, who knows, independent or whomever, all good hearts. And another one just might struggle. And that can be frustrating, where you're like, look, we're offering you all, like, how do I positively motivate you? They probably did so much to try and positively motivate Stephan. And for whatever reason, he just, I don't know. Same day, Stephan writes back to Chris, wow, way to go. That's wonderful news for you. And I'm glad to hear that your health is improving. I'm hoping Mom will have similar news as well soon. Yeah, he's like, I hope Mom can get off her expensive meds too. Then you guys will have more commissary. Maybe you can buy me more of those special meals. Everything to me like is a con in Stephan's mind. And I've heard or kind of seen people like this, like, especially some guys, well, women too. They were raised to kind of like, maybe they thought that was their gift, their skill, is to manipulate people out of their money. That's why I was talking about it with my doctor the other day. My doctor was talking about some of his family members got scammed, elderly people getting scammed. And, they're like, how do we know, doctor, what's a scam? He's so sweet. He was like, call the office, ask us. But I was telling him about the scam where, you should get alerted to your home title changing because, people scamming others using a homeless person's name and changing a person's home title and like stealing their home from right under them. I'm just like, scammers can use all those smarts and skills to do something legal, do something legal and ethical. Anyway, Stephan wrote, how have you managed to lose all that weight? Diet changes, more exercise? What's the secret? Chris wrote back to Stephan the same day, 10,000 steps a day? Or is this Mom? No. Yeah, this is Chris. 10,000 steps a day, 1,000 calories a day, net calories around 700 to 800, that's really low, and medication. I'm down to a 32, 33 waist and a medium large shirt. The meds don't give you much of an appetite, and believe it or not, no sweet tooth. The same for your mom, so they must be on the semaglutide, I just got home, so I'm going to log Mom in to catch up with our emails. Okay, Stephan writes back to Chris, July 25th, same day. That's fantastic. Unfortunately, my step count has dropped significantly. However, my calorie count is quite low. The food sucks and they don't give you enough of it to feel like you've eaten enough, even when you can eat everything on the tray, which is rare. So not much calories going in on a daily basis, except when I can supplement it with commissary items. Even if it's only a little here and there, I will let Mom get caught up and wait for your reply. So all this money they've been throwing into his commissary, he's still complaining like, my calories are so low. Except when I can supplement it with commissary items. Even then, it's only a little here and there. All these left-handed compliments, he's like, he doesn't have a lot of calories. He's supplementing it. Oh, even if it's only a little here and there. Like Chris is coming out of pocket like hundos here and there. Some people don't even get that. Anyway, Mom's writing now. While she is, I'll research the commissary. Okay, so same day, July 25th. This is Mom. Hi, Stephan. I'm now able to log in for messaging. The fresh meals sound like a step up. We are checking into it. The books should be trickling in, and I usually send 3 or 4. Pups are ready for outside time with the tunnel, splash mat, climbing platform, balance board, etc. Teeth are all in, so real food tomorrow and not mush. First bath and shave this week. You know I love that, seeing what is actually under the fuzz, seeing the structure. I made the appointment for their first shots, microchips, and health certificates. That makes it so real that they will be leaving the end of August. Just when they get to be great fun, they're leaving. Chris is looking into the commissary to order special items right now. Strange how it doesn't show up in a search. I've come to the conclusion that people are vile voyeurs into others' lives when they have no connection whatsoever. Lies, conjecture, and outright insinuations about everything. It can be laughable at times. Then I find it just sad that people are so desperate for a voice that they will inject themselves anywhere that pays them to talk, even if they know nothing. Deborah's so crazy. She acts like she's never watched like 2020 or Dateline. It's not like that anymore, you know. Well, of course, everyone's on YouTube, and I get it. Some YouTubers do go ruby off the rails, I call it, with crazy speculation, conjecture, and lies. But if we are literally reading court documents provided by the court, it's not being made up. And also, she's acting like we're just spying on our next door neighbor, no one who's like committed a crime, or, you know, like she has so much vitriol for YouTubers. She writes, sad but true. It's like she didn't understand true crime reporting. A lot of people don't, I guess, on YouTube, maybe especially older people. Well, I can't say that. Other people understand it. She's just like, she's hitting back at YouTubers because it's easier than hitting forward at her son and his heinous behavior. That's why everyone's looking at Stephan Stearns. A little girl, Madeline Soto, lost her life. That's why people are focused here. But she's saying, sad but true, the ticks of the world making a living from the public that is bored. So she has to have things in perspective of dogs. So all the YouTube reporters are ticks? YouTube is a joke, and so are the people who make a living from it. How? Why, Deborah? Like, she's only upset at her son, but she's taking it out on YouTubers. Sad, pathetic, wannabe investigators with no life of their own. Gotta go so you can write back. Hugs. Yes, Mom. Deborah, it's a real job. It's a real career. We have lives of our own, and we work very, very hard to get these documents. We pay money for body cam videos, for legal documents, to cover cases, because people want to see victims get their justice. If she could just step outside of her own world for a second and show more compassion towards this little girl who lost her life, maybe she'd be more accepted, you know? But anyway, Chris is writing back to Stephan. Hi, Stephan, or maybe his mom is. Hi, Stephan. Chris and I have been dieting since January. No exercise for me since the indoor pool vapor incident. That was a fun day in the ER. I wonder what happened there. So, Chris is smaller than when we were in high school. I'm down 57 pounds too. Gets easier, although we did a fish sandwich and fries splurge last night. It hit the spot. You are in my prayers daily. Stay fit mentally and physically. It helps with the stress. I wish we could do more for you there, but there isn't a lot available, unfortunately. Again, getting off here, I'm reading past posts from you just for today. Hugs. Stephan writes to Chris. Same day, or his parents, July 25th. Hey, hard to believe I'm missing an entire litter of puppies. I almost said a liter of puppies. I wish I could see them. The meals are called fresh favorites. So he's like, Stephan's not letting this go. You're like, okay, let me tell you more about these meals. The meals are called fresh favorites, and they are special meals that are delivered at certain times, I guess. I saw the other pods receiving them today, and there were things like burgers, Phillies, calzones, wings, etc. Some people were getting 2 or 3 things. It was interesting. I'm not sure how it works, only that your family can order it from the commissary site, and I doubt it's cheap. Have you gotten any delivery confirmation for any of the books you sent yet? Depending on when they arrive, it could take a couple of days to finally get into my hands here. I read through the Howling trilogy and surprisingly no nightmares. I guess reality is worse for me at this point. Although yesterday I did have a bad nightmare and woke up lashing out at an imagined enemy. It's been a long time since I had a dream like that, and it was unpleasant. Gotta give the tablet back. Talk to you later. So he had to get that tablet and tell his parents, look, some inmates whose parents really love them. No, he didn't say that. They were getting 2 or 3 things from this fresh favorites. I doubt it's cheap, he's warning them. But he doesn't say, don't order it, Chris is talking to Stephan now. Stephan, it's a shame. Oh no, this is Mom. I knew it sounded like Mom. Stephan, it is a shame that the other inmates are so hateful. But they are all there too, so no choir boys there. They get to feel like they aren't as bad as you are, apparently. At least you got fresh air and sunshine. I hope you get to do that more often. Sometimes you just need that little bit of change. So she's not going in too much on the death threats like, oh, they're not choir boys, you're there with them, whatever. Chris wrote Stephan. No, Deb is writing Stephan. July 25th. I'll check on delivery dates. Hope to hear from you again soon. Love, Mom. Now, Chris, her mom, is writing the next day, July 26th. Be on the lookout for double cheeseburger, soda pop, tater tots, and cookies. I believe Thursday. Stuff to order are cheeseburgers, double and triple, boneless wings, cheesesteak with boneless wings, triple bacon cheeseburger, buffalo chicken sandwich, pizza or combo with pizza and calzone. Mix up on the order of books. Reorder and sending. We'll let you know when they're due to arrive. Okay, Stephan is writing Chris or his mom. Same day. They found the words legal and depression in here, so that was flagged. July 26th. Hey, his got the tablet. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for the books soon, hopefully. Wow, okay, the food sounds good, and I will look forward to it. The cheesesteak and wings sounds interesting. So does the pizza calzone combo. I will look forward to the double cheeseburger and tots. Now, Thursday can't get here fast enough. That's going to keep me in anticipation all week. Yes, it was nice to feel the wind on my face and the sun on my skin after nearly 5 months without it. Yes, it was nice. Yes, he wrote, it was nice to feel the wind on my face and the sun on my skin after nearly 5 months without it. But the novelty wore off when I became the object of everyone's interests. So unless they can let me go out when the others are not out there, I'm not sure. I think it's worth it. Woe's me. I can't get sunshine because of these other inmates yelling at me. Still trying to stay active in my cell, push-ups, squats. I'm even using some stacks of legal documents to do some arm curls, bundling them up in my towel to lift them together. With over 2,000 pages, it's a good weight for the purpose. He's like using his discovery. He's using his discovery as weights. I'm going in cycles of hopefulness and depression. I just want to come home, and I want to crawl into a hole and disappear from the world and never come out again at this point. I'm trying to keep my mind occupied, but it is difficult sometimes, and my mind gets to racing. How are you both? How are the pups? Have they started their new food yet? Okay, same day, July 26th. They found pills in the message and blood in the message, but it's just blood pressure and meds. Okay, who's this writing? Mom. Hey, Steph, books ordered and should arrive intermittently. The pups are now velociraptors, full mouths, full of needle-sharp teeth. Oh, I can just imagine those puppy teeth. Those teeth are being put to use eating solid food, and they love it. Graduated from the small flying saucer dish to the big one. This weekend, first baths and shaves. Yesterday was a great day. For some reason, I woke up full of energy and went for about 6 hours straight getting the pen clean, pads washed, and put the potty box in there. Breaking out the tunnel, wobble board, climbing platform, splash pad, and baby slide to get the outside playpen set up. Can't wait to see them playing. Lots of thunderstorms here lately. I don't know if they're having them there. One of the books I ordered for you looks so good. I got a copy for myself too. The prices of these special meals is really high. They should be Wagyu beef burgers for the price. I was trying to find out, how much does it cost? And I just, kind of Googled the meals, and it said It could be $8 for a burger. Are they monitoring your blood pressure or just giving you pills without knowing how it is working for you? Were you able to order any of the sour Jolly Rancher candies? Lynn, John, and Kaza are coming for a visit next week. That should be a lot of fun. You know how Kaza likes to play? Wondering if Olive will recognize him as a sibling. I don't think Stella was born the last time they were here, and Lacey was just a pup and played with Quinn, her litter mate. Having pups of her own here, we thought it better to just have the one outside dog here. With Lynn's celiac disease, she absolutely must travel with at least Kaza. He checks everything she eats. That's so cool. I didn't know the dogs could, couldn't they check for gluten? He even doorknobs for any hint of gluten. Wow, what cool dogs. I'm so glad he was able to work with them and with their trainer, learning to identify a pup with the ability to seek gluten for her service dog. That is so cool. Dogs can be trained to do such cool things. Now have 2 gluten detection pups out there working. 2 for PTSD victims, 1 who monitors heart rhythm, 1 of Diesel's puppies, and 1 ESA. I should get off here and hope you get to read this. Love you always, Mom. Okay, now we are at still 7/26. We're still at July 26th. Stephan is writing to his parents. Hey, which book did you order a copy of for yourself, if you don't mind giving away that surprise on that one? Yes, I imagine these meals would not be cheap. Jail and prison is apparently a big business, and the laws getting passed all the time keep business booming. I've heard that there are quite a few lawmakers and politicians who even have investments in the commissary company. They don't monitor my blood pressure as much anymore. It seemed to have been gotten under control and was steadily good. So now I just get the meds in the usual 10 milligram per day, 2 5 milligram pills. I'm sure we get storms here, but can't always tell it's raining unless the thunder is loud enough. Glad you seem to have more energy. Sounds like you got a lot done. I wish I could see the pups playing. I will wait for you to write back. Love you. All right, 26th. The mom or dad is writing Stephan back. July 26th, it's Mom. Breakthrough, that's the name of it. I think it is a book, a lot like the movie, Day of the Dolphin. That's all I'll say. I hope we both like it. I'm sure there is a lot of people involved in keeping the prison system under their control and in their pockets. Sad, even in such a place there is horrible corruption. Look at what they did with our text messages. Turn them over to the public. That's not corruption. That's called the Florida Sunshine Law. It annoys me when people are like, oh, look what leaked. Like they're trying to blame a jailer or a cop or somebody for doing something dirty and underhanded, when it's just the laws that were voted on by the constituents, by the people who live there. So I hate when they try and make it seem like these public record requests, it's like somebody sneaked and leaked our messages because somebody at the jail is getting paid under the table. Anyway, people are just so bored they have nothing better to do than scan daily for any new updates. Yeah, we're scanning because we want to be there when Stephan is found guilty by a jury of his peers and has to serve out time for how he tortured that girl. Take that to the bank, okay? Deb, just stop trying to make it sound like everybody's just bored. They're just messing with my baby. Like, have some perspective. She's comical. She's like, we refuse to talk to them, so they make stuff up. Some is comical. Some, you wonder where their minds are. Certainly not in a place of light. They are in dark shadows in their minds to even think such things. What are you talking about, Deb? I'm sorry, I get so fired up over reading this again. But she feels sorry for us. I feel sorry for them and pray for them to find peace in their own lives and stay out of ours. Deb, we would not be in your life. We wouldn't know your name if not for what your son is accused of doing to that little girl. Give him all this smoke. Why aren't you giving your son this smoke? She's blaming it on, the jail, the corruption. They turned over our messages to the public. This bored public who has nothing better to do. And they're making stuff up, even though we're reading the words. She typed, Some is comical, Anyway. Some, you wonder where their minds are. Certainly not in a place of light. Where was your son's mind when he had all that crap on his Google Drive? When he had a folder dedicated to Maddie? When he was sticking his phone under Jen, his roommate's, door of her bedroom? Where was his mind? That's the only reason we know about this stuff. Because he did some horrible things to people. That's just the stuff we know about. Ugh. Does she feel sorry for us and prays for us to find peace in our own lives? No, I do appreciate prayer. I'm not trying to come down too hard on her. I'm just like, have some perspective, lady. Stop trying to make it seem like we just, in a vacuum, are getting in Stephan's business. And he's not sitting up here in jail facing Lord knows how many. What is it? How many 30-something thousand photos of children inappropriately? Come on, Deb. Anyway, Yellowstone comes back on TV November 10th. Looking forward to that. If I'd kept the black puppy boy, he'd be named Rip, LOL. I bet there are a lot of Rips and Caseys out there. Wish I knew where Sailor is and if he's okay. That's Jennifer's dog. If Jen has him, I hope he is helping her cope. I'm being called for dinner, so I'll sign off. Love you, Mom. And Stephan's going to talk about, I hope Sailor, the dog, is with Jen, too. And he's going to talk about Jen more, about her snapping and them trading roles of sorts. You'll see. Stephan writes to his parents on the 26th that night. To answer your question about the sour fruit candy, have not been able to get that yet. I always try and add a bag to my order just in case it comes through. But no luck so far. The book sounds interesting. I suppose we will see and maybe share some notes about it. I wonder about Sailor too. I really hope he's okay. I miss him and I hope he's still with Jen. I know he is good at sensing when she needs love and lavishes her with cuddles and kisses all over her face. I know he misses his other humans. His other humans. Is he trying to say Sailor misses Maddie? Sailor was that cute little dog. When we heard him, Sailor, Coda, food. So Sailor must have been the dog. Coda must have been the cat. Sailor, Coda, time to eat, But if he has her and she has him, I know that he is at least in a good place where he is loved and needed, so I hope he is with her. Yes, some people can't resist sticking their noses into affairs that have nothing to do with them. He's like mimicking his mom now. Stephan's like, it's like we can't resist sticking our nose into his affairs. Like, his affairs, being a pedo creeper, that should just be his business. Like, what does the public have to do with that? Alleged pedo creeper. Okay, some people can't resist sticking their noses into affairs that have nothing to do with them. There are people in this world that just love minding everyone else's business and make themselves feel bigger and more important by doing so. It's sad. Not much to do, but shake your head and pity them. What's for dinner tonight? I can't. It's like people who want to see a young, especially child victim, get justice. We're just minding his business, and we're just trying to make ourselves feel bigger and more important by doing so. Okay. Chris wrote to Stephan, or his mom did, either one, on the 26th. Oh, it's Chris. Hi, Steph. It's Dad. I was busy cooking dinner earlier. Dinner was hamburgers and Mexican cornbread, postponed from the other night. It's gotten to the point where we can't each eat a burger, so we split one and saved the other for later. For dessert, I made banana pudding. Your mother has been on a banana pudding kick lately. Just sampling the leftover pudding, I can tell I'm not going to be able to eat much. It's too sweet. It's too sweet, but we'll see. Neither one of us has much of an appetite these days. Portions are smaller, and so is the food bill. I have to scale back the meat purchases. Publix is good about splitting packages. Mom says 5 books should be arriving Monday. Let us know if and when they arrive. So Stephan writes back that same July 26th, and they found the word cook in the message. I don't know if it's like, he's trying to cook up some drugs or something. Anyway, hey, banana pudding sounds divine to me. I will keep an eye out for the books. They may not get into my hands for a day or two after delivery, but I will do my best to let you know when they arrive. Well, I suppose that's a good thing about decreased appetites, the decreased food bill. So Stefan's like, you're spending less money there. More for me. Myself, I'm not sure a decreased appetite would be an issue for me. I feel like I could demolish an entire large pizza to myself and potentially eat the cardboard box too. I've been craving pizza for quite a while, and I've often thought about melty, cheesy slices of pepperoni pizza breadsticks, marinara sauce. It's torture to think about it, but I can't help it. Thinking of all the foods I miss: steak, chicken, cheesesteaks, pizza, crab legs or lobster tails, a sack full of White Castles, Mom's squash and onions, steamed veggies with lemon juice and butter, sauteed chicken with cayenne pepper. My mouth waters to think of it all. I wish I could cook my favorites as well, and wish I could experiment with new recipes too and test them out on you both. All right, Chris Stearns, or Mom, is writing to Stephan, 26. I didn't reply to the other about the books. We'll see. 2 of the ones coming are not from an author you know. I hope I didn't screw up and get these 2 out of sequence, but I think you will enjoy them. I don't think I ever saw a paperback that was $18. I hope they are good. There are 2 or 3 more in the series, but just let me know if you like these first. What do you do for hygiene items? Shampoo, soap, toothpaste? How do you shave? I'm pretty sure you can't have razors. Or can you have an electric razor? Or just going to grow the beard until you look like a member of ZZ Top? LOL. Hoping we find out more that we don't know about the jail prison system. Seems like they should put out an information book for families. Love you. Big hugs. Yeah, they're probably like, look, we didn't even know all this. Fresh food and books. So the subject line has changed. It changed somewhere back there. I didn't even know it. Fresh food and books. Stephan is writing to Chris on July 26th. Okay. We'll see if the books are good and let you know. I don't know what series you are referring to, so I don't know yet if they are out of sequence or not. But we'll certainly let you know. Hygiene items are a mixed thing. I can get soap and toothpaste from the guards, but the toothpaste is not very good. Better to buy that from commissary. I still have my toothbrush that I had ordered. I can get deodorant from the guards, and shampoo is available sometimes, but not always, it seems. So it's safer to buy that from commissary too, which I did. Ordered dandruff shampoo. As far as razors go, you can use them under supervision, I believe, but I haven't been shaving. I got my beard trimmed with clippers when I got a haircut, but I'm long overdue for another. I'm going to ask this weekend and hope the barber can come down to see me. My beard is getting out of control at this point, and I'd rather not be chewing on my mustache when that burger arrives, you know? Nail clippers are available to use upon request and returned when you are done. So I try to keep my nails trimmed as far down as possible. Still working on getting a pillow. 5 months of using my shoes for a pillow has been hard on my neck and back, and these bed mats are rough on the knees and hips, and you can't lay on one side for too long and have to roll over often or your hips start to hurt very badly because they sink right through the rest on the hard surface underneath. So Chris writes back to Stephan on the 26th. I think that's Mom. What kind of lunacy is that? Not even a freaking pillow. It is jail, not Helga's house of pain. Then again, not supposed to be a place most people would want to visit for any length of time. The 2 books out of 4 are by Michael Grumley. Leap and Catalyst Breakthrough are on their way. Okay, Breakthrough is number 1, Leap is number 2, Catalyst number 3. I will order that right now so you can get it right. Ripple is number 4. Mosaic is number 5. Echo is number 6. That's the series. Lacey is yodeling to go outside. They all ate. Puppies ate earlier. I can't even imagine the boredom you are living 24/7. I would never have imagined this scenario with you. It is just heartbreaking for us that you put yourself in this situation. I won't chastise you. You're doing that enough yourself. Stay in prayer, read your Bible, and understand that no matter the crime, you can and will be forgiven by God. If and only if you ask for forgiveness and repent. I know you're sorry. We're all sorry and appalled that this happened. I know it causes you so much anguish too. It's funny how people say, oh, this happened. Like this just happened, you know? Anyway, just know that we are here for you. No matter what, you are still our child, and I don't care what other people think at this point. They really don't know anything about you except what the liars and blowhards put out in the media and social networks. See, that's where Deborah loses me. We don't know anything about Stephan, allegedly, except what the liars and blowhards put out in the media. So are you calling the state's attorney a liar? Are you calling everyone who investigated this case a liar? I mean, she's got to think about, like, stop being so, the hubris and just so outrageous and obtuse and just, you know what I'm trying to say? Just, ugh. I'm glad she calls him to the carpet when she does, but it's like, come on, Deb. It's not all lies out in the media. They researched Stearns' phone, his Google account. They found what they found. They interviewed people. It is sad and sickening, the things they find to be interesting. Gotta go let them out. Love you always, Mom. Like, it's sad and sickening that people are interested in true crime, but oh, it's not sad and sickening that Stephan allegedly created the crime? Shouldn't you be more saddened and sickened by his actions than those reporting on it? From Stephan to Chris Stearns. Okay, he's talking about, the self-harm watch. Inmates do get pillows, but since I started out on self-harm watch and spent months on self-harm observation, there were many things that I didn't get that normal inmates do. So I've been working on getting all those things. You have to remember I started here with nothing. No blankets, clothes, only a Velcro smock that did not keep you warm, in a cell with a glass front like a fish tank, and had to slowly earn everything bit by bit. Clothes and blankets, shoes, writing materials, books, phone calls, commissary, even soap to keep in my cell so I can wash my hands after using the restroom or before meals, cup and spoon. All of it had to be gained bit by bit over a period of weeks and months. And now that I'm off of self-harm, I'm just trying to catch up on the rest of the things I should have, but that is a slow process. You can't nag the guards too much. So I pick and choose what I ask for and when so that I don't hassle them too much. They honestly take a lot of crap from inmates all day, and I don't like to pile on if I can help it. There are some good employees here, despite the issues I've had with some, and many of them are quite professional, and so I try to avoid giving them a hard time. Anyway, right back soon. I will log off for tonight. I think the tablet is getting low, and the system will shut down at 10 p.m. as well. I love you both, and will try to get the tablet again this weekend if I can. Hugs and kisses. Give the pups some pets and love for me too. XOXO. Chris Stearns' mom writes back to Stephan that night, July 26. Sleep well if you can. I'm sure you're all right. And there are some caring people in there, decent and good. I'm glad you're getting things back. Every step forward is a good step. I know the time is up for tonight. This weekend is bath and shave for the pups. Fun, LOL, hugs, Mom. Stephan writes back quickly that night, 2 minutes before, I guess, the tablet shuts off. I'll try to sleep as well as I can, but it's rarely a good night's sleep. Anyway, I'm off. I will look forward to the books when they arrive. Don't forget to try and stick to my wish list as well. There are a lot of great books on that list, and I still want too. He's like, Mom, why are you going off and buying me all these other series when I already asked for these other ones? Enjoy the big reveal with the pups. I know how exciting that is for you, and I wish I could share that moment. I will just live vicariously through your description. Good night, and I love you both. Okay, now it's the next day, July 27th. Stephan is writing to his parents, hey, I have the tablet for now. How's your afternoon going? I'm fighting the monotony of the day-to-day here. Rereading through Congo, almost finished. Trying to decide what to reread next. Is today the day that the puppies get their wash and clip? I wonder if there's a way to send me a picture of it on here. Is work going well? You said things are improving, so I assume things are going well there. He's talking to his dad, I guess, specifically. Are you making some more moolah, Dad? I slept through most of the morning, turned down breakfast just so I could sleep and not have to get up and deal with the tray. So we've seen him turn down his, breakfast meals before. Okay, Chris is writing to Stephan or his mom. This was July 27th. Hey, I just saw this. Sorry about that. I could have responded sooner. I thought I had an alert set up. I just upgraded to the new iOS beta. I may need to tweak it. Every day is improving, but a long way off from where it needs to be, but I'm optimistic. It will be back to normal by the end of August. It will be back to normal. It's been a rough 10 months. Do you have access to pencil and paper? Do you have access to pen, pencil, and paper? Are you allowed notebooks for writing? It's interesting. It's been a rough 10 months. This is July, end of July. I don't know why they said rough 10 months. Oh, here we go. Well, no, he's just talking about regular YouTube videos. Chris writes to Stephan on the 27th. Yeah, it's Dad. Why don't you think about books to teach you something? That's what he's like, you know, maybe improve your mind, dude. Like, maybe get a degree while you're in there. I don't know. It can be anything. Today was the day from grooming the puppies, but Lynn and John are coming for a visit, and Lynn wants to watch Mom groom them. I don't think you can something to photos for the obvious reasons. That's funny. Shade. I'm starting a new project that involves other people and their help. We had a strategy meeting last week, and I've been assigned with writing a white paper. Makes sense since I'm the one who suggested the idea. I'm working on that now. Besides, I'm viewing several business YouTube videos and videos about the new OS updates to the various Apple devices. I upgraded to the beta for all of the devices, so I'm catching up on the new and improved stuff. You can now mirror your iPhone to your desktop, for example. And like everybody else, Apple is deploying AI, cleverly called Apple Intelligence, LOL. Apple will slowly release or expand AI, but I don't expect anything major until next year's OS update. One of the most useful updates is math tools. Apple finally created a calculator for the iPad. One button allows you to open Math Notes screen. You can handwrite out the math problem with the Apple Pencil, hit the equal key, and it writes out the answer. That's cool. It's then saved as a note in the Notes app. You can review later. The bros are going in for grooming next week. They're way past due. Abby looks like a small bear. I think Mom is attacking her tomorrow. That should yield a first grader when all that hair comes off. Catch up to you soon. Love, Dad. It's funny when they say first grader. I was like, interesting. Okay, we're getting towards the end here because we are in August 1st. Stephan's writing to his parents. It's August 1st. It's a new month. Hey, just got the tablet back finally. Got my special meal today. Double Angus burger with tater tots, Sprite, and cookies. It was very good. Thank you for that. He finally says thank you again. Best meal I've had since I came here, that's for sure. It even came with ketchup packets. I haven't seen ketchup in over 5 months. Had a checkup with the doctor again today. Confirmed, still losing weight, down to 169. I wonder if he really is. I don't know about that. Did he look that then when we saw him in court? Well, back then, I'm not sure. So taking me off the cardiac diet slowed the weight loss, but hasn't stopped. Yeah, this is Stephan claiming he's 169. So he's saying they're taking him off the cardiac diet in prison. It slowed the weight loss, but it hasn't stopped it. They are going to supplement my food intake for the next 7 days and check up on me again. I guess that means they are going to include any additional snack bag with my meals that usually consist of some type of sandwich and some cookies, I think. And they're going to give me some type of carnation shake as well. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Like he's like, oh, Mom and Dad, I'm like getting too skinny. I received a bunch of books. The Andromeda Strain, Rising Sun, Micro, Ready Player 2, Breakthrough, Leap, Catalyst, Ripple, all arrived. I have already finished reading through Ready Player 2 since it arrived on Tuesday, and I wanted to jump straight into it. I also got a notification. Some type of hardcover book also came and was returned to sender. The handwriting was terrible, so I couldn't make out the title that they listed for it, and I don't know what it was. Maybe you can find out. Gotta be careful about that. How are things on your end? Anything new? Write back and I'll be checking the tablet while I have it. So Chris, I think this is Chris writing back to Stephan. I want to see if it says Mom at the end. It's probably Chris. On August 1st, hey, good to hear from you. You've been absent a while. Seems as though there is no consistency to the availability of the tablet. Glad you enjoyed the meal. What would you like next week? There's only one delivery a week. Pizza and burger or what? Everything is the same. Work, puppies, and living life. Curious, has that woman stopped trying to connect with you? She seemed persistent. Here's Mom. Okay, there's Mom. Hi there. Glad to hear from you and happy to hear the meal was good. For the price I was expecting, Wagyu beef. I guess Angus is better than great. Josh said, your Facebook page is still up and running. Give one of your attorneys the sign-in and password so we can take it down. I guess he never did that because it's still up. And he probably didn't want them going through, like anything they could have gotten to if he gave over more passwords and everything. Who knows what they would have found. Can't tell us on the phone or here on the iPad. Everyone and their uncle is apparently just dying to devour your every morsel of malicious lies that are being floated by the YouTube trolls looking for clickbait and a monetary reward. Sad people with no job. This is a real job. Let me tell you, you don't even know. It's like already more than 2.5 hours I've been filming. Lord knows how long this whole video will be. I have to go edit it for hours. Thank God I got a new MacBook I need to open, maybe transfer it on there. You don't even know how much it takes to video edit, Deborah. So just stop it. Sad people with no job sitting in front of their computer playing at being cops. It's a job, people. Why do you think most kids want to be YouTubers these days? Just because it wasn't a job when you were growing up, Deborah. It wasn't a job when I was growing up. I got on YouTube the very first time, like the year after it opened, 2006, my very first 15-second video. Anyway, that's not when I started this true crime. That was 2018. It is a job, let me tell you. But Deborah says, disgusting. It's hard not to reply to them, but that would just let them gloat. They are just ticks on society. Oh yeah, but not Stephan. Yeah, he's an asset to the collective, right? Enough of that. The hardback book must have been an Amazon mistake. I checked the orders and all were indicated as paperback. I'm reading Beneath now and enjoying it. I think you will too. Reality and sci-fi in one book. We still pray for you. We love you and support you regardless. We are not naive though. And you've done some horrible things, Stephan, so she finally comes at him. Things I never in a million years would think my child would be capable of, and that is a hard pill to swallow, I'm sure. I want to look in your eyes and ask you why, and actually get the truth. I'm sure that won't happen. Again, no shielding others. Take care of yourself first and foremost. I will say it's pretty disgusting that all of this stuff is being dumped out to the YouTube wannabes. First of all, what's a YouTube wannabe? We're on YouTube. How can they get a decent jury pool for your trial? They've got this thing viral all over the country and in the UK, maybe more. Why? It escapes me why people who have no skin in the game feel the need to make themselves a part of it. Oh yeah, we feel the need to watch Madeline Soto get her justice. Madeline Sophia Soto, say her name, Deborah. They have to be some kind of sick, twisted people with no other joy in their lives. So we're sick and twisted for wanting to follow a true crime case. But the son who created the horrible things in the midst of the case, allegedly, he's not sick and twisted. It is sad, really. But also aggravating because the truth is nowhere in any of those posts. She's just everything is so like, I don't know the word for it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Everything is just so like, she's exaggerating. There's truth nowhere in any of these posts, according to her. They can say anything and think that they are shielded because they give a disclaimer at the beginning that these are their thoughts and feelings about things, along with their psycho, devoted followers of the truth. What a joke. Well, enough again. More time goes by. The pups are at the fun stage. People are already coming to meet their babies before pickup. The pups are at the fun stage. People are already coming to meet their babies before pickup. That's cute. It's great meeting people you've been talking to for, in some instances, several years without meeting face to face. They really are exceptional and adorable. Not a beta in the bunch. So Deb is saying they're all alpha dogs. What's wrong with a beta dog? I don't know. All alpha, but brave, friendly, engaging, smart, just everything you pray they will be, especially when placing service dog prospects, as you know. Although I know they aggravated you when they were sounding off with the rabbits in front or someone at the door, but under it all, I know you love them all. So Stephan, yeah, he did get aggravated with those dogs. I know you really love playing with the pups. I do wish you were here for this. Their playpen is set up on the lanai. That reminded me of the Golden Girls on the lanai, and goes almost end to end. There are fans above, level ground, and safety from the aerial predators. I'm putting in the equipment tomorrow. Tunnel, splash pad, climbing platform, wobble board, the plastic ball, pit balls, all the fun stuff. I guess I can print pictures and send them via mail, but check that, please. So Stephan writes back, this is August 1st. Hey, good to hear from you both too. I've been asking for the tablet for 5 days, but only finally got it today. Yes, no consistency, but it is what it is. If you want to get me another meal, the pizza calzone combo sounded good, or the cheesesteak wings combo sounded good, or the buffalo chicken sandwich. Honestly, it all sounded pretty good. But those three are at the top of the list for me. The commissary amount could use some topping up to, if possible. I finally got a bag of the sour fruit balls candy, and it's not as good as I'd hope, and the root beer and butterscotch candies are better in my opinion. But I'm wondering if other out-of-stock items might finally be available too. I guess I'll find out soon, but I want to get some more mackerel, hot peanuts, and of course coffee. I always order more when I can to make sure I don't run out anytime soon. But I will see if, he's just writing like crazy, the sardines and hot tomato sauce will arrive as well, since I've been curious to try them and maybe get some Hawaiian punch drink mix while I'm at it too. So I'll try to use the commissary kiosk this weekend if you toss some funds in there for... All right, I just want to finish this. Okay, I've been curious to try them, maybe get some Hawaiian punch drink mix while I'm at it too, so I will try to use the commissary this weekend. If you toss some funds in there for me, toss some funds in, Mom and Dad. I wish I was there for the pups as well. Yes, they were aggravating for a long time with the barking, but honestly, something finally clicked back in 2022 for me. And I stopped being so easily aggravated and suddenly gained an immense reservoir of patience. What happened in 2022, 3 years ago? Traffic stopped bothering me. Everything just stopped bothering me finally. And conversely, Jen became the angry and irritable one who raged at traffic and snapped at everyone all the time. He's talking about a role reversal. So he's saying like Jen became the one that flipped. I was fine. I became fine. So when I moved back in with you most recently, none of that stuff seemed to really bother me anymore like it used to. That's not what he told the cops. He's such a liar. He's like, oh yeah, I had to get away, to come up to Kissimmee sometime, to get away from my 2 old deaf parents screaming at each other and all the noise from the puppies all the time. That's what he said then. But he's, gassing up his parents. That didn't bother me. This change seemed to coincide with the start of my new job back then. So he's saying, I guess when he worked at Disney, I'm assuming he's talking about his job at Disney, things just switched for him. I don't know, a switch got flipped and I was happier again. Is it because of what he was asking his ex-little girlfriend to do? Kind of lay flat. And that's the only time he got excited, kind of like when she was playing dead. I don't know. He says, I'm reading through the Andromeda Strain now, but when I finish that, I will jump into Breakthrough and catch up with Mom. Yes, that woman stopped trying to connect. I accepted after like the 5th attempt she made just to see if she would message me with whatever her purpose was. But she sent a message COD, which is like cash on delivery, which meant I would have to pay on my end to see it. So I said, screw that. And I declined to pay for it, deleted it, and then disconnected from her. Maybe she ended up paying for the message because we saw that first one. If she wasn't willing to even pay for her own message, I wasn't going to be willing to read it. There's no way I was going to use credits my family paid for to let some stranger message me for some unknown purpose. He's like, Mom and Dad, basically I'm saving you guys money. Aren't you proud of me? Okay. She hasn't tried to reconnect again. Some other people have tried to connect though, but I've so far declined them since I assumed it will be more of the same. Pretty much all female names that are trying to connect strangely. I can't imagine what these people could want to say to me that I would care to read anyway. Right, because they're not like little girls, right? Probably connect with them. Anyway, I never tried to connect with him. So whatever, I have felt like I'm spiraling a bit this week. I can't begin to describe how badly I want to leave this place. I'm sick of it. I'm missing so much of the world right now and what's going on out there. I miss my family. I miss my freedom. I miss everything. I'm getting quite anxious and the negative energy in this place has started to affect me. I hope to hear back from you soon. I love you both very much. I will try to get the tablet back when I can. Right back ASAP. August 1st, they found smoke from Chris Stearns to Stephan and mental in this message. Well, it's really from Mom. There was a soft drink shown. There was a soft drink shown with the meal as part of it. Did you get it? Yeah, he did get the Sprite. He talked about Sprite. Dad will transfer some funds to your commissary soon. I hate that your life has turned out this way. Remember that old saying, a single event on a single day of a single week will affect you the rest of your life. That is what this is. That first bad decision leading to that first event doesn't wipe out the good you've done for people, doesn't change the person you're capable of being. But honestly, this is a long, rough road you're traveling on. We will be here to support you in any way we can, but you still have to walk the road, and I hope God is walking next to you. Don't blow smoke and tell me you're praying or that you asked for forgiveness if you haven't. It is between you and God, and I truly want him in your corner. Placing the calzone meal order for next Thursday. I hope it is as good as you expect, and I'm really sorry the sour candies didn't reach expectations. Do they have Starlight Mints or cinnamon candies? You and your sweet tooth. Brushing those pearly whites, I hope. Not a great dental plan where you are. I'm glad they are going to supplement your nutrition. You are dangerously thin for your height and build. I wouldn't call 169 pounds at 6'2" dangerously thin. I think Deb's being a little dramatic there, but you know, she's used to him being bigger, I guess. Keep working on your physical and mental health. Enjoy the books. A new Crichton book will roll out in November. I've pre-ordered it for you. About Egypt and the tombs. Sounds good. Dad just transferred some money into commissary account. More to come later in the week. Again, much love, hugs from afar, and know we are still your family. Woo, that's it, Mom. There's business record certification. We see the books, all these books they continue to send. And there's other things in the documents that I haven't read. There's Ready Player 2, but I found most interesting these 40 pages of messages, so thank God I got through them all. Woo, this is a lot of stuff on my phone. It ran out of space. I had to take a break. Got my new MacBook though, bless the Lord, but I'm not even working on it yet. I gotta finish this on here and we will see. Right now, I would like to read and close out Deuteronomy 30:15 through 16. See, I set before you today life and prosperity, death and destruction. For I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, and to keep his commands, decrees, and laws. Then you will live and increase, and the Lord your God will bless you in the land that you are entering to possess. So I'm sure Stephan is kicking himself that he didn't closely follow the lives that God wants us to lead, and we will see what happens with this trial. Again, for the stuff I didn't read, because if you can go over the docket, he went over some of the more, the technical medical stuff and the swabs and certain things that I haven't covered. So you can watch it over there. I was so fascinated with the emails. But check the links below to documents I'll upload. At this point, I don't even know what I've kind of uploaded and what I haven't. And we do have more coming because the docket found where we paid $180 for some other stuff, and they were telling him, oh no, we didn't get that or whatever, and it was just a miscommunication. We have sent so many money orders. I wish their system was just better about okay, these are the requests, these are the ones paid, these invoices. It's not like that. It's just a bunch of emails flying back and forth, and thank God he found it today. Because stuff we might have paid for last year or earlier months ago, and then they're just oh, it takes so many months to get it to us. Sometimes you forget what you've even paid for. Anyway, thank God we got this, and thank God we're marching closer to seeing Maddie get her justice. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Stay tuned. I'm sure there will be much more as we keep getting in more info, and I'll keep uploading documents onto Patreon for those of you who like to just read it for yourself on the screen or download it, what have you. Thank you so much. Take care.